Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, and I'm joined this week by... the man who wants to be the number one king. It's Mikey G4V3. Hello, Mikey.
That's not fair.
Why?
It's not fair. Also,
can you relips,
now,
Mikey?
Every time you pause before you say Decade Andy, I think you're. And I'm not actually sure this isn't true. That you're trying to convince yourself not to say Cobra Commander TFW.
I am sometimes. Because sometimes, because I've been saying it for not exactly 10 years, but slowly coming up to 10 years as I've been the main host. It's hard to break habits when your brain's in one gear. You got to deliberately switch.
Yeah, this is almost 10 years of you being daddy.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to break your habits. It's hard, son. It's hard.
Daddy Andy.
That's right. How's it going, Mikey? How are you doing this week?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. The room is getting a little bit on the warm side, so I might need to at some point run and open a door before I start sweating uncontrollably, which is not good during a podcast recording.
In a freezing weather.
Oh yeah. Because it's either one of two things. It's either too hot and stuffy, or you open a door and then it becomes far too cold. You gotta love the winter, man. You gotta love it. How you doing good? So, you've already said yeah. We're talking about Transformers this week. We've got Transformers to cover. Again, there's not a lot of stuff, but there is a few little bits here and there. We're gonna start off with the third-party woo-woo. As per usual, we have Iron Factory kicking us off with the IF EX52T twin-edged blade, Nomi Maru, Suki, which is basically legend-scaled Age of Extinction Drift, if you remember that little blue boy. So it's that guy. I think we saw this guy in the preview images from Iron Factory a while ago.
There's a blue one, and there's a G1 colored one.
Oh, well, there you go. I think doesn't the G1 have a different head, or is it still the same movie head? I can't remember.
It's the same sculpt, it's just a repaint.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I guess it's kind of what we saw before then, except it's now in a physical version. He has big, chunkier legs than previously, than in previous designs, and I think that's just to give more of the samurai aesthetic. Do you like him, Mikey? Because I think you're more of a supporter of this look of Drift than I am. I think that's fair to say.
For the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My weird fan fiction about him, but
that's right.
I actually am not crazy about this version because the aesthetic of this series is not just like what if Modern Samurai. It's what if this was Samurai of the Day, ornate, everything else. This is just kind of a mildly altered version of the movie design.
That's fair.
I think it would be really nice to just go like full whole hog. Like, change his head design, like make his head design more Nobunaga, for instance. Make it more, stylize him after Nobunaga's armor. That would be kind of interesting. Give him a cape, or give him a bit more wild weapons, or something like that. Not just like slim down the movie design, you know. So he's. I would say I don't think he looks decent or anything like that. I just don't super care for him in comparison to the rest of the line.
Would you say he's the least inspired because he is so straight cut and similar to the original version?
Yeah, and unfortunately, like the G1 version is not really that much better for me because it's just, hey, it's the same toy but white.
Yeah.
You know, they could do a little better. Let's be honest.
I would agree. I think changing it up wouldn't be a bad idea. I guess I could see why they chose to do this, because now people can have a fairly close to the movie legend scale version of Drift if they really wanted to. With a few changes, it seems like he has 3 swords. He's got one on each shoulder and then one big one on his back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not amazed by it myself. I like the normal Drift design from the IDW comics. I like that one more than I've ever liked this.
It looks like he might be getting retooled into animated Prowl, which I'm way more interested in.
The bike?
Samurai Armor Prowl.
Oh!
But he's got a car. They're doing him into a G1 style Prowl, and they're also doing him into a armored, like what if Samurai Prowl was in G1 in a car.
Ah, okay. I was going to say, yeah, he's definitely not turning into a bike, though. He's just going to look like Samurai Prowl, but have the car mode. Okay.
New head, new weapons, and like a lot of gold trim and a lot of black. I think it looks way better.
Okay. Still, if you're going to do animated Prowl...
Yeah, but no one's going to do it. There's no such thing as an interest in third-party animated figures, Andy. There never has been.
It's because you did... Who did they do? They did the Super Mario Brothers plumbers.
Yeah, which is a weird start, but they looked fun, at least.
And they did... who's the leader of the Constructicons?
Did they ever release him?
I think... I don't know.
What was his name?
I can't remember. I know we talked about him.
Yeah, I remember ages 3 and up were talking about him at one point or another, but I don't remember if they ever released him. And I know so at one point someone had an idea or a prototype or something out for Cyclonus. But...
Didn't someone also have a prototype up for, was it Scrapper, the big one? No, not Mixmaster, the other one.
No, I think it might have... I don't remember Scrapper. Dirt Boss, that was his name. Dirt Boss.
Oh, yeah, good call. Yeah, I forgot completely.
The little Gurren Lagann man.
That's right.
Yeah, so, because we definitely don't need a working version of Starscream that works and isn't hindered by a big-ass gimmick.
God.
And fingers that fall out.
Be nice to have it. Oh yeah, that was one of the earlier rough toys, shall we put it?
He was one that at the time we all bent over backwards to justify because we loved that character.
Definitely. And then we bought the multitude of repaints as well.
Yep.
Multitude. And there was no hailstorm.
No.
There was a fast changer or something for her, and I think that was about it.
I don't even remember if she got that. She didn't start.
I think she did. I think she did get a fast changer, but I'm not entirely sure. I could easily be wrong there. But I thought she did get one of the really crappy fast changers, and she was very chunky, obviously because of that. Yeah, we didn't get her. Yeah, or like you say, a good version of Starscream. Or a good version of Cybertronian Megatron. Not that we need that. I don't think that was necessary.
Or Season 4 Megatron design. No.
That would be fun. Or the hotshot that we saw prototypes for. Again, that would be neat.
Let's be honest. A better version of Voyager Prime, which is a toy I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they really wanted it to have them gimmicks.
You know what I'd like, actually? You know how there's a company out there who are just basically making, I guess, better quality versions of the Transformer Prime cast.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically knockoffs, right? Just theoretically better quality.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what would be nice for them to do? Animated Blackout.
Oh, yeah.
Because he came out and you could only get him from Japan, and he was a pain in the ass to get. and now he's stupid expensive.
Yeah, and he's one of those ones, again, like, I really like how he looks. But having handled one, is he a great figure? Or is he simply one you really like because it's a nice design and it's the only way you're going to get it? And it's rare?
See, I would say the Blackout was competent. It wasn't good. It wasn't like a standout figure for the line. But it wasn't a Starscream, for instance. It wasn't bad. He didn't like fiddle around with anyone. Ugh. It was definitely in the vein of Lugnut, which is way too small, but it's a okay figure, is how I would describe Lugnut. There was nothing wrong with that toy. He was just very, very, very small. Disturbingly small. Like, Lugnut was one of those toys where everyone was like, scale does matter. And people were like, so scale doesn't matter. It's like, no, he should have been a leader. He should have easily been a leader.
He should be fucking huge.
Yeah, there was no reason not to make him a leader. I don't think, anyway.
No.
Because Ultra Magnus was a solid figure from that line. He was very good.
Solid. And I thought Leader Bulkhead was fun.
I never got him. I had the Voyager, so I never went for that one.
Voyager was good.
It was cute. He came with the Headmaster. That was cute. It wasn't a big seller for me, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It was a gimmick, and it was referential.
Yeah. Man, do you remember when you'd get you wouldn't get just like piles and piles of repaints?
Oh, yeah.
Because there were a few leader repaints, but there wasn't a lot from what I recall.
There was Roadbuster leader, Ultra Magnus, and did Bulkhead ever get repainted?
I don't think so. There was the Shadow Megatron.
Shadow Megatron,
okay.
I remember. Yeah.
I don't remember any other ones, to be honest.
No. I think there might have been like there was the Japanese versions as well with the weird paint.
Oh, the sparkly kind of shimmery versions. Yeah, I kind of don't count that, but I know what you mean.
I was never crazy about that paint, to be honest.
No, it made them look a bit too My Little Pony-ish, I suppose. You know, with the whole we're using sparkle power. It's like, oh, okay.
And if you think of characters like Bulkhead, like the actual paint made him look really strange next to, like, it was really deep and a lot more on the teal side of things. Yeah, because it had to. It was because it was more metallic-y. Like you said, Bulkhead went from a kind of olive green to a deep navy green. Yeah, that's nice color. Yeah. So leader Bulkhead only, like, the only difference was the Japanese release had dirtier paint. The Voyager got repainted into it was originally going to have a sort of Elite Guard repaint, but they never made it out.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But yeah, we
never even got Wasp or Cliff Jumper. We got a fast action battler Cliff Jumper, and all they would have had to do is, granted the mold wasn't the best, but you just needed to give like Deluxe Bumblebee a new head for the most part, and a new paint scheme for both of them. Actually, no, not for Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper had a slightly different design, but you could have fudged it. They always do.
Cliff Jumper, I think you'd have to have made a little more effort just because his head was so different.
Yeah, but with Wasp, easily, you could have done that.
Yeah, the size was the same and everything else. But they were originally going to release Wasp, and they were going to just do it as a repaint of, a straight repaint of Bumblebee and have it from that one episode. But they never did, and it was one of those things where I'm glad we got Waspinator, but man, even on a line that went on for a couple of years and had a lot of figures in it, there were still so many characters that were missing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was a lot. And it's a shame. Like I said, the quality did improve on them.
Oh, yeah, dramatically.
Yeah. I still remember the swoop. The swoop wasn't the best, but it was quite okay, I would describe it. I
really liked the robot mode. The Pteranodon mode wasn't the best, but Slug was fun. Slug was just a violence potato.
I didn't like his chicken drumstick weapon. It looked really weird.
Jazz was a good toy. I'm just looking.
He was very good. Yeah.
Lockdown, of course. Like Lockdown, people I will say people oversold Lockdown, but he was good.
He was mostly good. Like I think most of the ones that Botcon used for the Stunticon set were some of the more solid ones.
Yeah, I think Prowl was very good. I had Prowl, and I thought he was like way too good, to be honest.
The first Prowl or the second? Yeah,
Prowl? the first one. I really really liked that toy. I find it really really fun. Soundwave
I think the only mishap with Prowl was I don't think they did the actual face sculpt too well, because I think they made the mouth a little bit too small. They needed to make it more defined. But apart from that, it was, like you say, it was solid.
Yeah, Soundwave was good, Oil Slick was good, Swindle was very good, and then we all found out about he had a lot of clear plastic in him.
Yeah, he likes to explode. I've seen too many pictures of his legs just like crumbling, and it's like, oh no. I don't want to check on mine, just in case.
Shockwave was good, like Shockwave was really fun.
Oh yeah, Shockwave was super good.
Blitzwing, a lot of people didn't like Blitzwing. I always did, but I always had a real affection for that little tank.
I think mainly because it didn't evoke the heads. Like they tried to do the triple head gimmick, and the only head that I think really worked was the crazy head. All the other two were not nearly as impactful as they maybe should have been. But it was a good try. The actual tank and jet mode, they were good. They were all right.
Yeah,
they did their job.
I definitely think they made a mistake making the side of the head out of soft plastic on that.
Yeah. You can see why they did it, but it's like, it didn't work super well. Yeah, all these figures could potentially be done into third-party figures, and they'd be obviously much better, arguably.
Animated Swindle, fantastic character.
Yeah, really definitely. Yeah. A lot of good guys in that. Lots of good designs. Could do, not gonna. Mikey, do you want to talk about Moon Studios again? I don't think there's a huge amount here to say.
No. So Moon Studios have revealed images of MS-06 Cool Peak.
Cool Peak.
Cool Peak from G1 Seizan. I don't know if Seizan has any deeper meaning. That has to do with peaks or mountains.
Well, Twin Peak, maybe? Is it a Twin Peaks reference?
It's the name of the branch of Judo-shu Buddhism that was founded by Hoen's disciple Shuko.
Oh, well, it's not a Twin Peak reference. Okay. No. That's fine. That makes sense.
Cool Peak is, of course, one of the train bots. We get to see him in robot mode. Not a lot going on, and honestly, we just get to see kind of their take on the design. It's a nice looking enough robot mode. Weirdly enough, I like his back a lot.
Yeah, it's quite tidy for a backpack. Yeah.
And the base robot looks fine. He kind of makes me think of Crosswise or Crosswire, whatever his name was. One of the Target Master fellas. I think it's the head. But I think he looks good, and I think the colors are nice and different.
He's this off kind of creamy beige color.
I would really like to see a lot more of him, though.
How much more would you like to see?
I'd like to see his articulation on alt mode.
It is weird that they showed us the picture, but they didn't show us any, like you say, like transformation or like any fancy poses or anything like that. It's almost like someone from the company just took the photos of the robot mode quickly and then went, just get him out of there. It's no, we need the other stuff.
No, it's a train. He's not a robot.
No train, only robot.
I have to be on a train in the next hour and a half. You're getting 2 photos.
Oh my god.
That is all.
Bummer. I guess I could take us on to the next story, because again, there's not much to say there. It's just
so
another
exciting.
One. Yeah, train bots.
Exciting.
We talked about Nendroid last week, and the Good Smile company had a showing at Wonder Festival, I should say, and showed a load of figures coming out. In terms of Transformers, they showed 2 more. We got the reveal in quotations of Nemesis Prime. It's a redo of Prime into Nemesis colors. No real shock there. Yeah. The new thing was they showed off a Starscream. We don't see a lot of what Starscream has. He has a very, very chipper smile.
Yeah, he's happy out.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's all that we really saw. He's got closed-fisted hands, and they showed no other accessories. But since we've seen what previous Transformer Nendroids have, I think we can safely assume he's not going to come with a huge amount again.
Yeah, and the joy of Nendroids is the weirdness and aesthetic and everything else.
Yeah, I kind of think that, they also showed in the same case that they're doing a great Mazinger and a Mazinger Z.
Yeah, they look better.
They look better
because their proportions work for it, because they've got nice round bits.
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah. I'm interested to see if they're going to have Koji and Tetsuya visible in the cockpits for the
that
Pilders.
Would be neat. That would, yeah. Let's see what we can see.
It's hard to see, but I think you can see something like Koji.
There is definitely a helmet in Z.
Yeah.
Shin.
Yeah, it's
the little helmet. Yeah, do you know what? They're there. I can see little helmets.
I think I might be wanting to see it. I hope they are there, because it would be weird to have
Tetsuya's definitely there.
To have a super deformed version and have the head so big and have the cockpits translucent.
Yeah.
There's
no reason in the world there is a white and blue thing in the middle of that unless it's Tetsuya.
No, it must be.
So,
again, strange if it's not.
But it looks like Koji's there as well, but the one in Mazinger Z, it's not. It's more opaque. So it's a lot bigger, so it's not as obvious, but yeah, I think I can see it. Basically, I think they look like they belong in an Android line.
Yeah. They're much more of a Japanese design, I suppose, so that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the best thing I can think of doing with this is waiting for them to do Shattered Glass and then swap on Akane's head.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. But I'm just not. I really wish I was feeling these, because this is my shit, Doug, dude. Doug was a terrible TV show.
No, it was.
But unfortunately, they're just too safe, and this particular style of super deformed Transformer has been done before and done better.
I mean,
So-
they could, like, people could say that we're being too harsh on it because it's it's Transformers and this, it's not the Japanese property, but like, if we go down a similar aesthetic of most of the Brave series, I don't think most of the Brave series robots, if they were done in the style of, the Transformer ones here, I still don't think their designs, because they are similar to Transformers, because they're effectively the children of Transformers, I don't think their designs would work well as these super deformed androids either.
No, you need I think the round shapes are really, really key.
I would agree, yeah. Yeah, and androids. There's another one coming. Is there going to be a Skywarp and a Thundercracker? I don't think that's, again, too crazy to suggest that might happen.
No.
Thunderstorm.
Oh, no, Acid Storm and Sunstorm. That's who we'll do.
That would be more surprising. No, Red Wing. Acid Storm and Red Wing. That would be surprising. That would definitely be surprising. Do you want me to take this one, Mikey, or do you want to talk about... No, you take this one, because you've actually done some research on this, haven't you?
This apparently came out yesterday. I only saw it this morning. It caught me off guard. So, we have design sketches and a preliminary design sculpt and a rotational video with information on upcoming Bishoujo, Transformers, Convoy, and Megatron.
What is Bishoujo, Mikey?
If you've heard us often enough, it's like V-Shoujo, but B.
That's a terrible, terrible joke.
I'm hilarious. These are by Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya is one of the very big collectible companies in Japan. It's one of the, like, it's up there with Good Smile, Bandai, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they make tenuous model kits.
Yes, model kits of people you want, but then you buy them and then you're just like, oh, you make me nervous.
I still want to buy a Dan just to see if it's good or not.
I know. They did a bunch of figures I'd really like to try, and their Zoids are great in terms of quality. The master grade Zoids are fantastic, but it's just, I'm looking at just like, oh god, why?
I think you're the only person who's actually talked about the quality. When I've heard anybody talk about Kotobukiya kits, they've never mentioned the quality of them. I think I haven't gone massively into a lot of YouTube videos on it, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about the quality. Only you, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's weird. I've heard people talk about the build, and the build can be fun. Not always, but for anyone who's interested in model kits, I would say this: the plastic quality does not feel. If you're used to like how Bandai stuff feels, or some other less. There's lots of other model kit companies out there, but most of them have this very solid feeling plastic, whereas Kotobukiya's all has this slightly. It's not soft, but it feels like it should be.
Is it one of those things that people who are getting these figures are just they've just come to accept? Is this why they don't talk about it?
It's also something like when if you're someone like me, has to panel line and has to get a bit of extra painting, add those a little bit of extra detail, avoid your stickers as much as possible. Nerd. I was using the Poor panel liner on the hands for Dran. I think it was Dran. No, it wasn't Dran. It was Deckard. And this has never happened to me before or since with any kit that wasn't Kotobukiya. While I was lining it, the fingers came off one of the spare hands.
Eek.
Because they had a chemical react. I looked this up, and they don't talk about this in reviews, but this is something that people have noticed. Standard Poor liners have a chemical reaction with plastics, specifically Kotobukiya plastics.
Really?
Which is causing damage. So if you have Kotobukiya plastic pen liner only, do not use a Poor liner. And that really annoyed me because I get Poor liner on hands works so much better than pen.
Yeah. It'll actually go into the cracks than most of it not going into them, right?
Yeah, and very easy to clean up. But in comparison, Gundams, I've never had that problem. When I did the Tekkaman Blade, never had that problem. Zoids, never had that problem. Like, who's ever behind that specific... The Motoroid is the line, and I wasn't using Poor liners when I did Majin Kaiser's Skull, but I bet if I had... Again, you would have had a bit of damage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Transformers effect parts. Just be aware of chemicals will react in ways you don't want them to.
So strange.
Yeah, it's not great. But anyway, so Bishoujo is a line of statues based on the work of an artist named Shunya Yamashita. Now, originally, this started as doing gender swap versions of movie characters. The very first one from this line was Freddy Krueger, specifically from Freddy vs. Jason. And then it moved into primarily fighting game and comic book characters. So after that, we were followed up by Nina Williams, then Jubilee, She-Hulk, Batgirl. They've moved on from there and they've started mixing things up. They've also done like Ash from Evil Dead. They've done Jason Voorhees. They've done Chucky and Tiffany. Oh god, like I don't know half these characters, but Raven's in there. 4 or 5 different versions of Harley, Beetlejuice, and probably relevant for us, they clearly have a license from Hasbro because they do My Little Ponies. They've done all the cast from My Friendship is Magic, including Celestia and Luna, and I'm just scrolling through now, and oh my god, Fluttershy looks so embarrassed to have breasts. That's all I'm going to say. Like, if you go on their website, you can see all their produced figures, and Fluttershy looks ashamed of the fact she has breasts.
All right, nice.
As she should be. But probably the most well-known thing they did recently was Pennywise, which got a bit of attention, I remember. But
why did
anyway,
it get attention? What did it get attention for?
It was really big with the remake, and it's a pretty distinctive look, and it's not as it's very anime, but it's not as anime. Is the only way I can say it. But anyway, so this is a pretty successful line. It's plowing away at its own speed. And they're doing Transformers. Specifically, they're doing Optimus and they're doing Megatron. Now, basically the way they're doing this is the characters take aesthetic cues from the existing ones. So Optimus is the one we get the most look at. Her basic design is grey pants with Optimus's crotch details, and she's got a halter top and a jacket on, and the jacket has like the pockets are colored like boob windows. Optimus's boob windows, not her boob windows. She's wearing a matrix on a chain. She's got hair that sticks up like Optimus's antenna, and a detail I really like, she's wearing a pair of like shades that have lots of Optimus's face details on them, including the crest.
Okay.
Which looks cool when she's got it up like that, and would look really weird if she had them pulled down, and I really hope you have a face swap option that can do that. Her boots and her legs are styled after like lots of details from Optimus Prime's legs. She's even got like tires on the side of them. And she's carrying a case which is shaped like his truck. His trailer,
cute.
sorry. It's cute. Megatron is a bit more dominatrix-y. Very like Japanese anime military character, and if you've seen an anime where there's like a female military officer, you know what I'm talking about.
To me, she looks a bit like I haven't seen it, but I've seen like trailers for it. Have you seen Prison School? Or
Yes.
Prison School? You know the main
I know
teacher.
of. I haven't seen a lot of it, but no, there's a bit of that. Less terrifying and top heavy, but
yes.
But yeah, so she's got like a soldier cap on, the fusion cannon's a rocket launcher, wearing a coat on her shoulders, but doesn't have her sleeves in it, her arms in the sleeves because she's cool. Mm-hmm. Corset, button, her belt is taking details from Megatron's crotch again. Skirt and big long boots because Megatron's actually kind of featureless down below. We also get to see the spin around of the prototype for Prime. And it looks like I've seen pictures of Bishoujo stuff, and I've seen them at convention and in a few like Forbidden Planet. I saw some Bishoujo stuff once, and they all looked like very well put together. Mm. These retail at about $130 on average, so I'd expect that to be the case there. Said that they're 1/7 scale. I should point out that's to humans, not Transformers.
Yes, definitely. So, yeah, could you imagine how big they'd be otherwise? My God, big ladies.
There's been a lot of talk about them the last couple of days, and most people seem pretty positive about at least the idea.
I think people are like, at least ladies are going to be quite happy to try and emulate cosplays of them. I think they're very cosplayable.
The most negative thing I saw is one person saying they really wished Megatron was based off of the Milne Hollow Avatar. Yeah,
but that's not what they're doing. I understand.
It's very much based, like, this is Yamashita's designs, and he's not going to go that way. But I will say, they do not look like they're from the same show.
No, they look completely different. Completely different.
Like, the face is probably the only linking thing, the style on the face and the eyes and whatnot. Megatron has way too much mascara on.
I'm not sure I'd associate Prime as a young mechanic girl either, if there was a gender swap. Like, Megatron kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like, it does look like that is going to open up, it's going to be full of wrenches, and it's just going to like, I am a grease pit lady.
Yeah.
I build Formula 1 cars out of regular cars. I don't know. Whatever anime people do. Whatever car people do. I don't know what any car people do. But, I mean, I think it looks fairly decent. It's not an action figure, so I'm not interested in it. It's not a model kit, so I'm not interested. So, those are two, that's me out, and certainly not for that price. But, she's got a lot more personality than regular Prime.
Yeah, that's true.
Certainly in the last few years. But what do you think, Andy?
Yeah, they're okay. Like I say, they don't seem like they mesh together too well, and I think, like I said, Megatron emulates Megatron's kind of character enough. Prime doesn't. I think it maybe emulates more animated Prime, character-wise at least. Not like visually, but character-wise. You know, being younger and looking happy, which, you know, G1 Prime isn't generally, at least nowadays. But yeah, they're okay. They're not really for me because they're statues and whatnot, but they're certainly they'll probably I'll say happily they'll certainly be cheaper than the Prime 1 Studio statues because they were like thousands of pounds. You know, so they're definitely cheaper than that. So that's good. That's it. That's all I've got really for it. Is there anyone you'd hope to see? Would you be shocked if they did a Starscream next?
No, I did see, that was one thing I saw, like, oh god, I do not want to be there when they do Starscream, because the internet will explode. I like, if you think about the most likely ones to do, you've got what? Starscream, Soundwave, Grimlock, Bumblebee.
They're the main ones.
Yeah. Bumblebee, I can pretty much guess, like, pigtails, would definitely have pigtails. Grimlock would be kind of interesting, because clearly the aesthetic is being based off of things like, again, military, engineer type. What are you basing Grimlock off of?
Barbarian.
No, that
Red Sonja. There you go. That's Grimlock. Grimlock is Red Sonja.
Vampirella. We're doing Vampirella.
That worked for Mindwipe, I think, but not for Grimlock.
Red. Lady Death. There, same kind of aesthetic as Red Sonja.
I.e., not much in terms of clothing.
Yeah. Soundwave, I guarantee there would be a face mask, like Japanese face mask style thing.
Are you disappointed they didn't because like in a joking way, I'm like, well, that doesn't look like Akane.
No, but you could, if they had a head swap.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, if their heads can swap between the two of them.
Just because it's Japanese and Optimus Prime doesn't mean it needs to be Akane. Incorrect. Yes, it does.
You have made an incorrect statement and must reconsider your life choices.
Exactly. If Prime, thus Akane. If Megatron, thus Rika.
Yeah, no, if you could swap them, and oh man, if you could get a version of these that you wouldn't be afraid of to do a custom on. Swap the heads. Their faces are fine.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd be bothered by, you'd have the wrong, like, the glasses would be on the wrong head, but I could work with that.
That's true. Yeah.
You could work with that. Oh man, now you've made it worse.
Thank you. That's what I'm here to do, Mikey. Ruin things for you.
In that case, Andy, why don't you go on to something I'm sure you're very, very, very excited about? I am. Excited.
Remember how successful Creo was, Mikey?
I'm going to say this. I liked Creo because I like the Little Men and I like the Constructicons, and you can't take that away from me. I
liked aspects of Creo, but I think everyone can agree that the quality of Creo across the board was not high.
It wasn't perfect, I will give you that.
No, and even the minifigs were
I did
rampant
get
with
Shockwave's head
stress.
stuck in something once.
Yeah, that happened a lot. There were frequent stress marks as well around the ball joints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like, obviously Creo failed hard.
Yeah. It lasted longer than I ever expected it to, and I found out, like, several Creo sets came out after they stopped advertising them.
Yeah, they did.
A big giant Grimlock, which I didn't know about. So.
Yeah, but then it kind of just shifted away and no one talked about that it died, but it did.
I remember they started trying to do Star Trek for a while as well.
Creo tried to do a few little things and Yeah. Either way, Lego is rumored to be doing a Lego Optimus Prime for Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
Rise of the Beast. So it's gonna look like a thing. We say rumored because I think generally people aren't 100% sure, but it's coming from from Lego news site Promo Bricks, which I'm sure is a big deal in the Lego community. The details given are that it will be fully transformable without disassembling, as well as it will include a weapon jetpack. Two things: a weapon jetpack, not a weapon jetpack. And an information plaque, which is obviously the most important thing. It will be reportedly costing about, let's round it up by a penny or a cent or whatever, to 170 euros. So it's going to be a lot of pieces, which is approximately 193 US dollars. It's going to consist of 1,508 pieces, so that's about right for a licensed product with that many parts. That's about right. And it's going to be apparently out May this year. So, 2022, the year of Rise of the Beasts, a movie that comes out next year. What could go wrong? That's not going to impact the sales at all.
Of either.
No. We don't have obviously any images of what this Prime looks like or anything like that. But since it's going to be based off the movie,
I don't know. Like, last one was G1 style. It depends on what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, the only one who knows is Lorenzo, and he's just, like, rising up like a bloody vampire.
Yeah, he's a madman. Who listens to Lorenzo? Hopefully no one at this point. But yeah, Mikey, do you have any thoughts on Lego?
Like, the most interesting thing I hear has nothing to do with this. Like, one, like, I'm just thinking about those Jurassic Park sets that I couldn't get.
You mean the big door?
Yeah, and they did
that
Rexy. And they're doing Rexy and the Explorer as well. That's been announced.
Is that like a special Jurassic Park movie set, or is that just like for the new movie related stuff?
No, it is like based on original 1993.
Okay, because I remember the actual Jurassic Park line wasn't too bad. I think generally the issue people had with the line was you had to spend a lot, basically, effectively, to pay for the dinosaur models. That's what you were paying for in terms of Lego parts.
The dinosaur models were largely reuses of existing dinosaur models they already had from years ago, and people just wanted the minifigures.
Yes.
And people like, one thing I find hilarious now, they've revealed some. The dinosaurs are still just, like, for the most part, retools of existing ones. But some of the minifigures include, like, Old Man Malcolm, which is a grey-haired Malcolm who still got his shirt open. Which I'm like, yes. I'm in for this.
There was one Lego set from the Jurassic Park era that I did consider getting, and that was the Mecha T-Rex.
Oh yeah,
because it was in the colors of the Jeep, not the Jeep. What was that vehicle called?
Explorer.
The Explorer. The green and the red and all that jazz. So I was that looks fun because it is a stupid mech. I like robots. It's a dinosaur mech, so it's even cooler, and it's got stupid colors on it, so it's even better again.
Yeah,
I didn't get it in the end because it was a big set, but I thought that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I still I think it's great to have the option to get the minifigure. That was what I liked about it. The minifigures more than anything else in that one. Because I never loved the dinosaur Lego molds. I just never did.
No, they're fine, but
the stuff like the Rexy and everything else, like, that's really cool, but it's also really fucking expensive.
Yeah, agreed.
So I would be kind of interested to see if this means we could have some other Lego Rise of the Beast sets that are more like playset kind of things with minifigures and like action features and stuff like that, which I would be more interested in myself. And maybe some vehicles. Like,
the thing is, I don't think I care about human characters. I mean, it
would be like minifigures of like Optimus or something like that.
No, I don't think that's what it's going to be.
I mean, I prefer that because there presumably wouldn't be enough marketable human characters that anyone would care about.
That doesn't matter. They'll be like, they pushed like humans a lot before, so you'll have like Sam and Michaela. I mean, obviously not for Rise of the Beast, but you'll have those.
Oh God, what if you did, like, behold, 1 month old Sam?
Hooray!
No, it's mid-90s, so he'd be like 4.
Oh no.
4-year-old Sam, and just like, yeah, I'm a little shit.
Hooray. Yeah, I don't know. These won't do it for me personally.
I would like to see what they look like just for fun.
I have a feeling I won't like them. I might appreciate what they are, but I don't think they're going to do it for me. I think Transformers as a thing won't lend itself well to being Lego. Yeah, I think it lends itself well to being minifigures like what Creo did, because I thought those minifigures were neat. And I think the idea should have been to build up around them. And they instead of trying to make them Transformers, which they tried to do, and it was... Should we be kind and say partially successful? I think partially successful.
I still like Devastator. I'm just saying.
Do you mean the combiners, or do you mean which?
I would also say the one that didn't look anything like Devastator. It was just four vehicles you stuck together, and it made Devastator.
Are we talking about movie Devastator?
No, this was a Creo Devastator.
I'm trying to remember that one.
Like
I remember the minifigure combiners. They were quite fun. They were pretty. No,
they were fun. But this was like a full Creo set that was 4 robots, and they came together to form a vague Devastator. But it had bright colors like the movie. It didn't have green.
Ah, okay, all right. Yeah, there you go. Lego. It's a coming, baby. If you want some, you better save up because Lego's expensive. Mike, do you want to talk about another product that's a thing?
Yeah, also, word of warning, if you do want them, do not think that you can hold off until the next release.
Of what, Lego?
Yeah, because they tend to disappear.
Oh yeah, when Lego's gone, it's gone.
It's gone, son.
And unless you're going on to like Amazon, it doesn't go on sale.
Yeah, and if you're going on Amazon, good luck with prices. Yeah. So, anyway, Jada Toys have revealed a couple of things. Jada Toys.
Never heard of them.
Jada Toys, who do diecast, apparently. I'm actually Googling them right now.
Okay.
Jada Toys, an American manufacturer, collectible scale model cars, figures, radio-controlled vehicles, and dolls. They have done cars, and they've done a little Deadpool with a taxi. And they've done like movie themed stuff. Oh, they've done Jurassic Park. They've done the not the Explorer, the
Jeep,
Land Cruiser. I don't know Jeeps. Someone's going to say you're committing like Jurassic Park crimes, but I can name all the dinosaurs.
You're not a carologist.
Yeah, I remember the Ford Explorer because Rexy flips it, and that's an amazing scene. Jeep, the Wrangler Jeep, that was it.
Okay.
And they did some RC cars and stuff like that. But basically, they do vehicles for the most part. And they have revealed their online catalog, which will include a transforming Optimus Prime. So this is going to require many batteries. And yeah, it very simply converts from robot to vehicle mode. Very simply. Really need to emphasize this. Very simply. They're also going to be doing vehicles, diecast vehicles for Movie 1 Prime, G1 Prime, Movie 1 and Age of Extinction Bumblebee, and a Bumblebee movie RC 4-wheel elite vehicle, which is not transforming and is just a repaint of an existing RC car they have.
Okay.
So that's fine. They've also announced that they're doing some minifigs and stuff like that. So they are doing a set of vehicles. They used to do these. I have seen. They've done these for different movies and stuff, where you'll buy it like a multi-pack. So in this case, it'll be 3 vehicles in each. First one is going to be a Bumblebee whose paint scheme I don't recognize.
No, me neither, actually.
Okay. A Age of Extinction Optimus, a more standard movie Bumblebee. Then the next one is going to be G1 Starscream, G1 Bumblebee, G1 Prime, and then Jetfire, Hot Rod, and Sideswipe. All small and dinky. Then they will also be releasing a pack of minifigures, which will look, based on the robot mode. So we have got, this is a single multi-pack. Everyone's in there. So we have got Optimus, Bumblebee, Hot Rod. Is that Dead End? No, it's Cliff Jumper.
It's Cliff Jumper, yeah.
Starscream, Megatron, Jazz, Prowl, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, Skywarp, Thundercracker, Wheeljack, Sassy RC, Ironhide, Ultra Magnus, Shockwave, and Soundwave, both of which are doing Dreamwave squats. As you do. So not much else information about these, and the pictures are not great, but I mean, I will not be rushing out to buy these. And Andy, what about you?
It's weird. The little posed non-transforming figures kind of remind me of like army men, for micro machines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what the market is for that because I don't think I would want them as a kid because I'd want Transformers to be like action figures or Transformers, one of the two, not just little non-posable dudes. In terms of the RC transforming car, I mean, it's probably cheaper than the $1,000 Jobby's got the thing, whatever it was called.
Yeah, that can hear you when you sleep and like brings you food at night.
Yeah. Whatever that one is, it's cheaper than that. So, I guess that's a plus. But we've seen stuff like this a lot. We've seen RC cars that are Transformers loads and loads in the past, and I've never thought that. That's much to them, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. Little things here and there. I describe them as little bits of tat that might amuse. But they'd be like the thing that you'd have next to a checkout. They wouldn't like draw my attention, but they might draw my attention right at the end of a shopping if I was like 5 or something. Yeah. I don't know. They don't do a lot for me personally. Do you have anything to say on them, Mikey?
Not really. They're knickknacks.
Yeah, knickknacks, paddywhacks, give your dogs a bone. Well, Mikey, let me tell you about the first listings for Rise of the Beast toys. They've had an update.
Well in time for the film.
Yes, because thanks to Amazon US, we have a release date for some of these figures, and it's apparently the 15th of April.
Oh, God.
Which I think is maybe an entire year, because I reckon Rise of the Beast would probably be a summer film, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it's June it was moved to.
Okay, so yeah, it's just over a year then for the toys to sit on the shelves and not sell, effectively.
Yeah.
That'll be fine,
No
as
media,
we said.
No comics.
No, the only media is us talking about it, effectively.
Yeah, no
and
comics,
it's the
because they're
fans.
closing the company, or the comic company is losing the license.
Yeah, that too.
June 9th, 2023.
There's basically the list of the figures that we kind of talked about last time. I'm not going to go through them. I think it was just important to mention that we do have a date. If you are wanting to get Rise of the Beasts before the movie, you'll be able to. I personally, I don't think there'll be a massive rush to get them, depending on how well supplied they are. Just on the basis that you'll have to deal with collectors. But generally, I don't think kids will care too much because it's not related to anything that they will be seeing on TV. There's no movie to do about it, so I don't think you'll have to worry about stealing from children, effectively. Only from each other. Hooray. I'll do the last story as well, because there's what I said to talk about there. It's just a guest list for TFcon Los Langeles. We've got...
Los Langeles?
Los Langeles. Or Los Langelos. The Langoliers. Los Langoliers.
Los Langoliers is a very different convention.
And it might be better. Or worse. I don't know.
Wow, Andy picking a fight.
I don't know.
TFcon's done nothing but good things to us over the years, and Andy's literally just saying he'd rather deal with the Langoliers. Hear about you.
Have you been to the Lost Langoliers convention?
No, because you know why? No one comes back.
They have CGI time eaters, Mikey. What a film. Or TV series. It was a TV series, wasn't it? Yeah, it was,
yeah, it was miniseries,
yeah. So, who are the new people announced? We've got Grey Delisle?
Grey Delisle, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, she's the voice of RC in the Bumblebee movie. She's also in Revenge of the Fallen as RC. And she was Glowstrike in Transformers Robots in Disguise. So she's going to be there. We have Dan Warren, who was the voice of Crosswise in Transformers Robots in Disguise, and the voice of Roy Fokker. 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 Not fucker. Fokker. From Robotech. I.e. not Macross.
Not Cross.
Not Cross. And we also have Sandy Fox, who's the voice of T.A.I.
Tai. You've seen the show a lot.
I've just read... No, I've seen it once. I've watched it
You've
through once.
You've seen it more than once.
I haven't.
You have.
I haven't.
Because I know I've made you watch stuff before.
I have watched it once. I haven't seen it all the way through more than once.
I'm not saying all the way through. You've seen episodes.
I have seen episodes.
You were a child in the early 2000s.
I didn't watch it when it was on TV.
Who had access to Fox Kids?
I did not.
Repeat.
I never watched it on Fox.
Do you know how many times when I was staying up late watching cartoons because I was a teenager, embarrassed to tell anyone I was staying up late watching Dexter's Laboratory? I was just skimming through and just like, well, I'm waiting for Dexter or Samurai Jack to start. Here's another episode of RID.
I think the way that the show sounded and how it looked never caught my interest when I was like
of its time.
Yeah, like it never caught my interest when it was on TV. I think it wasn't Robots in Disguise around the time period of like
2000
Justice
to 2001.
League. Yeah, Justice League would have been out at that point, right?
Yeah, I remember distinctly because the Western release was edited because of Twin Towers.
Ah, of course. Yeah, so I never saw it when it was originally aired. I only saw it much, much later, and then once it came on DVD, and I bought the DVDs and watched it all the way through. But yeah, Sandy Fox, who's going to be playing this character, T.I., or as Mikey says...
Ty. Her name's Ty. Her name is literally Ty.
Never. That's not what it says. It says T-I.
That's what it says, Ty.
T-AI.
I think it's even Ty in the Japanese version.
It is.
The one with the really uncomfortable little mini statuette.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up as well because I remember that and being like, oh, that was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Skybite perving on a very clearly underage girl in a bath.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, Ty's going to be there. Those are the some voices that you may remember and famous people who are going to be at TFcon.
I got weirdly excited, and then I made myself a little sad when I said, like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if they could get Kelly's actor? And I was just like, oh no, Kelly's actor died. And now I feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't feel bad. You didn't know. It's not your fault you don't remember a person who you're not intimate with. Or you didn't, you weren't personally best friends with them.
Andy, like, as we've seen during the week, it's very important to get really invested in people online and who are famous that you've never met. And need to judge them for their personal life choices.
Well, that's actually a good segue because we're finished with the news for this week. So, Mikey, what have you been up to this week, son? What have you done for fun and all that jazz?
I mean, last couple of days, I have, like, occasionally just ducked into watching the internet burn because a woman you've never met has a boyfriend or may not have a boyfriend and may just have a male friend.
Has it really been that bad, man? I've seen people talk about it, but not, like, when I say talk about it, I see, like, the people being memeing and going, like, people are way too invested, and that's about it. So what is the sit?
Okay,
Mikey,
so
what's the situation?
I say this fully aware many people don't care or don't want me to go on about bloody VTubers again or anything like that. But I find this kind of stuff fascinating from a psychological point of view.
Yeah, the human experience.
One of the most popular HoloLive VTubers is Rusha, who basically has two settings, which is I am a sweet angel and oh my god, I could break like an entire metal band with my voice. She's very entertaining. She's one of the like really she's from Gen 3, which is probably the best gen in terms of like everyone hitting a high level of entertainment. From my perspective anyway. Like for HoloLive it's usually there's one or two from each one that I think excel and the others are just good. This one I think it's just like no, for whatever reason all five of them are very good at what they do. And she knows another male a VTuber or VSinger or whatever. And then someone was watching another VTuber who left their Discord up. I think it was another streamer. Might not have been a VTuber. Left their Discord up. And on their Discord, it showed this guy was messaging Rusha and saying, oh, I will be home soon. Which the internet on all... Like, I can't even say this is a Japanese exclusive thing. It exploded. Like, Reddit exploded, Twitter exploded because they assumed they were living together now. And now, oh my god, what do you mean she's got a boyfriend? Oh my god, lying bitch got thrown around a lot. He then came out and said, like, well, no, I'm saying I'm going to my home and we'll play games online afterwards. But we're not saying we're living together.
Oh, so they're not actually going out?
Well, he's saying they're not.
Oh.
Now, he could be, of course, lying.
That's true.
Would not blame him, but given the information, you just... Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it could be company policy as well for him to say, oh, no, we're not dating.
Yeah, but I find it fascinating, people's reaction to this, because...
It's unsurprising, is what I would say, unfortunately, as well, right?
Unsurprising, but the reaction of... Like, people always say, oh, the Japanese thing gets really into this whole idol thing. It was, by the looks of it, it was really the Western fandom that really kicked off.
I wonder why. I mean,
And, like,
I kind of know why, but...
Because, a lot of people have... Most people who watch it are perfectly fine, sensible people, and, know where their boundaries are. Other people are basically living parasocially because they don't have that in their life.
Yes.
And, oh my god, now you're taking my pretend girlfriend away.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if he is or if he isn't. Like, this actually happened once before with Toa, another HoloLive one, who got caught playing Apex and, like, 2 lads' voices came through, and she panicked and said they were staff members. Because people got, like, really pissed. It's actually what led to her ending up with such a big Western audience.
Really?
Because the Japanese audience died off for her. I research everything, but it's my life. The Japanese audience died off for her, and the Western audience basically came in, and she ended up like this really big Western following because of the different standards.
Okay.
The difference is she drew in basically older, more mature Western viewers who were more into, like, okay, she's just really entertaining.
Yeah.
Whereas Rusia drew in a lot because of that, like, she also kind of played up the early on anyway, the I'm very sweet thing. She drew in a lot of, like, much younger fellas who were like, I'm gonna draw some naughty art of this lady.
All ladies potentially doing that as well.
Or, right? No, ladies as well. She's actually quite well known for her female fan base.
Yeah.
Because they send her pictures and she gets angry because, quote, you're bigger than me, unquote. But
I also hear generally the ladies are better at drawing porn than the men are.
Yes,
Generally.
Yes,
Not all the time.
I stumbled upon a Twitter account a couple of weeks ago, which was titled, I'm a woman drawing porn and I'm better at it than you. A summation of her thing. And just like,
I mean, when it comes to me, she's not wrong. She's definitely better at drawing porn than I am. Guaranteed.
Yeah, but yeah, I was not expecting to see, like, basically Bishoujo style versions of Rexy, but now, not humanized. It's got the T-Rex head.
Okay, well, that's fair. Yeah, sure.
In scale, it's just like a T-Rex head planted on a sexy woman body. But I find this stuff really, really fascinating because, like I said, like the fact that you're that invested in any celebrity's life, and especially something like, one, they're VTubers, which means they don't want you to know about their personal life.
Yes.
And a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. 2, HoloLive is a company it's been said multiple streams that there's no dating rules. The only dating rule is don't date someone who works for the company. And
which makes sense.
There's probably at least one exception to that.
Yeah.
Referring back to Gen 3. But... So, and like Matsuri's, I remember seeing one with Matsuri on it, and she basically said like, oh no, I pulled this woman in a convenient mart and it's amazing. And I was just like, oh. And, but the fascinating thing, like, if it had been a girl who Rusia had been talking to, this would not have kicked off this way because people would think it was hot, to be blunt.
Yeah.
So, and it's really interesting to me, like, this is kind of the knowing and realize. They knew she was a real person. They didn't realize she was a real person. And now it struck them like, she's not my girlfriend. She's living her own life. Maybe she has a boyfriend, maybe she doesn't, but she could have a million things going on in her life that you don't know about. I find that fascinating to me.
The human condition is a weird one.
Yeah, and then Hachima put up a support video which got taken down, which I understand completely why, because she drew a lot of ire on herself last time she got involved in a scandal. But to put it mildly, but yeah, like, you're starting seeing like a lot of like, we are pro Rusia, please get laid kind of stuff popping up now. It's just like, Rusia, we don't care, please just scream at me from across the internet because you're like failing at games. So I just find that really fascinating. Like, you see it as well with the Western streamers. It's not, weirdly enough, I think what you see with the Western streamers is more overtly sexual.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Because, like, the Western streamers frequently play it up that way. But I was just thinking, like, the Niji Sanji, Japanese company, has a ton of female streamers on there who are very open about the fact they're married, or they are dating people, or they would date people, or whatever. And I was thinking, like, if one of them had been in this situation, would the reaction have been the same? Because it's a very different thing. Like, despite the fact that HoloLive's popularity comes from the fact that they're all completely insane and very much not the pure Japanese lady model.
Yeah.
Is it still like, do people still process it in that context? It's interesting to me. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those things I'd love to see a study on in 3 or 4 years, once we're either the VTubing thing has like gone the way of the dinosaurs, or just become like, you know, like part of the regular streamer background. It's not as prominent as it is now. But yeah, I find it really interesting. I just do. Also, I think it's absolutely insane to inject yourself into someone's life like that. But
you can see how it happens for some people easily.
Hopefully, it doesn't go weird like it did with the VTuber, Hololive VTuber Mel, where she was getting literally stalked because someone like somehow worked out where she lived.
Yeah. There's some dedicated people, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the problem is that Russia lives very close to a bunch of other ones, including the Canada and Kazan. So that could be, if anyone finds them, it's going to become like feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, to be fair, if they find Canada, she'll just break their head.
That's true. She's got the strength for it.
It'll be like one of those movies, you'll see their heads pop. But anyway, I found that, like I said, that's the kind of psychological stuff that interests me. But more standard stuff. No games or anything much. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! A bit more. Still using the Blue Eyes deck. Still enjoying it mostly, but I have really found the frustrating parts of the game mechanics.
Did you not believe in the heart of the cards, Mikey?
I tried to.
Then what went wrong, Mikey? You didn't believe hard enough.
It's fascinating to me. Like, I've played card games before where, okay, the draw is important, but even if you don't have a fantastic deck, you still got a fair chance of winning if you can play the game or stall long enough. You can lose in one round in Yu-Gi-Oh! And round you can lose in one turn where you don't do anything.
I've heard that's now how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. I can't remember who told me, but someone mentioned to me that, oh no, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Can go now. It didn't used to be like that, but because of how the game evolved and they kept adding more and more and more and more cards, that's unfortunately just how shit can go.
Done
which is dumb.
Is the metagame has become about how many effect cards can you throw out, like cards that stack summoning effects. So, okay, so you can put down one monster card and as many spell or trap cards you want. Now, what if you put down one monster that has an effect that lets it summon another 2 monsters that are better than it, or spell card that lets you summon more monsters, and then you stack like that and go on 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 and go on. I think at one point I was sitting there for 20 minutes. I was on my phone waiting for the round to end.
Were you playing against a human being, or were you playing against a computer? Oh, okay.
So there's not.
So
actually that much.
they had designed their deck to be like this.
Yeah. One guy I actually met someone using Exodia of all things.
Oh wow, that's cute.
And he did win because I had no idea what he was doing. I was just like, he's like burning through all his energy and like just keeps on drawing magic. Dumping his
guy's
into
a moron.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, if I get one good shot off, you're dead. And I was just like, oh, and here's the thing. Because of the way the draw system is, it's really easy to get no monster summons or anything. Your entire, even if I went 10 rounds without getting a single monster out.
Oh no.
Because it was just magic.
You should have had a deck full of Pot of Greeds.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to do that. I think you're only allowed so many Pots of Greed.
I think it's really not a good design choice. It's not so you can use special effects to summon as much as you want. And yeah, older cards are more redundant. And that's why, like, hey, Blue Eyes. Okay, we got Blue Eyes, but we also have a bunch of monsters added on over the years to make Blue Eyes still functional. And it certainly is. Like, if it hits, you're dead.
Sure.
But it requires all the monsters in it at a really high level, which means they're hard to get out. And meanwhile, you're sitting there for 20 minutes, I'm not kidding, round 1, watching someone just summon. Oh, dump that. And now it's got 9,000 attack points. What?
I did see a meme of like, the meme was a video of someone going, this is old Yu-Gi-Oh! And I play the Dark Magician and that ends my turn. And then the next, it was like a 5-minute clip and it was literally like 10 seconds for that, and then the rest of it was him going through and doing exactly what you said. I use Betamax Warrior to then summon 2 more monsters to the field, activating my magic effect trap card called Null and Void, suck these nuts, etc., etc., and it just kept going. I was like, what the fuck? Is this real?
Yeah, I find that frustrating because what
That's
you've
not
done
a
is
game
basically
at that point.
No, the meta game has become that, which means you're only ever, I'd say 5 out of every 7 times you are fighting that playstyle.
Surely at that point it is literally
Yeah.
pay to win then, because all you have to do is get the right. All you need is the cards in your, I guess, your data backlog, and as long as you've got those cards and you've made that deck, then you just win.
Yeah,
it's like
make that deck and make it and always go second.
Yeah,
because the set you can't attack for some reason. This is weird as well. The person who goes second can attack on their first round. The person on the first can't.
Oh.
Why they don't both have a setup round?
That's not fair.
Strange to me. But it's fun.
Fair.
Like when it works. Like I had a really good one against another Blue Eyes deck. Where we basically were kind of like stalling each other, like both clearly trying to get a Blue Eyes out, and then we're trying to get one of the upgraded Blue Eyes out, and I get this really good one out. Oh, he's managed to dump that, but I bring it back, and he brings out a similar one, and since we had similar decks, we were just like, oh, I can't attack that. That will fuck me up. That card's gonna make me dead. And that was a full. We went for ages with that, and I really had fun with that. And I've gone up against some people and it's just like really quick plays and just like bang bang bang, and that's fun as well. Or if it doesn't matter to me if the game goes on forever, as long as everyone's thinking and trying.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun. Like me sitting there watching you take advantage of a game mechanic that's very broken, and I would not want to be someone who is prone to spending money on gacha games.
Yes.
Because that would frustrate me, and that is something you would dump a lot of money into.
You can see why it's being left in there, and not only for this gacha game that you've got, but for the game in general, because it then forces you to buy more stuff. It's just kind of a gross way to do it.
Here's the dark secret about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a real-life gacha game.
What? Are you saying Magic the Gathering is a gacha game too?
No. Yes. No.
The only difference is at least you get something physical at the end of it, so you are getting something that is that can be argued has value, unlike a gacha game.
And having played Magic, it has I would not mind this draw. If you could still encourage other playstyles.
Yeah, no, 100% sure. Yeah.
Which is okay, so of the cards I've got, I could do Red Eyes, which I really wanted to do, because Red Eyes is my old favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monster from back in the day. Okay,
Joey Wheeler.
Joey was cool.
What was he?
He was cooler than Yugi.
I mean, Yugi's a wet fish, so I'll give you that. I'd say Tristan was cooler than either of them.
No, but he wasn't. Tristan was so nothing.
Yeah, that's why he was cooler than at least those two. Because he wasn't offensively dumb like Joey. Joey needed to be hospitalized. He was so stupid. Bless him.
Dear. But I was just thinking if I want to do it with any cards where I think okay, these are some okay designs or anything else, Dragon Maid, I don't know.
Yeah, you should do a Dragon Maid deck. You should do a full lady deck.
Yeah, I've got a few of them, and they're basically based on kind of that, but they're also everything you summon has a limited lifespan, which I do think adds to the challenge of it.
Oh, that's sad.
But they go back and turn back they go from maid to dragon, and then they turn back into maid.
Oh, okay.
And then later on you can do dragon again. But so yeah, it's a game I'd like to keep trying, but I don't think it's a game I'll go crazy on, and I'll probably switch over to something a bit more traditional soon.
It seems like those kind of games seem like they're perfect for I don't want to be working at work at the moment. I'll do this for a bit, and then maybe I'll get back to work.
It's Minesweeper for nerds.
Yeah. It's Minesweeper.
But apart from that, watched new episode of Digimon Ghost Game, second episode in a row where I thought the core concept was really good and 95% of the episode is really good, and then the ending's really weak.
Oh.
Which is weird. What they're doing is they're introducing pretty strong horror concepts, but they don't want, because they don't want a lot of Digimon in this to be evil. They've done really only one or maybe 3 properly evil Digimon, which I'm perfectly fine with. Are
they meant to be more animalistic than they are
more like their morals aren't quite like ours?
Okay.
But this one, they really portrayed as nasty, and then they give him I'm happy ending, and I'm just and it's basically Peter Pan. They do Peter Pan. Also, these are 2 of the worst Digimon designs I've ever seen, which is Petermon and Captain Hookmon.
Oh, what they
which are
based on?
just dudes.
Oh,
They're
no.
just dudes. Captain Hookman is literally just a pirate.
That
He's
sounds
not
a
a-
tad lazy,
He's
especially
not a
if they go
Digimon
for that.
pirate. He's not a angel pirate or like armored pirate. Just a pirate.
Yeah, that's lame. That's
and
very
the story
lame.
was fun because it's like Peter Pan is kidnapping children and taking them to Never Never Land is the story. And he keeps telling them don't grow up, and there's an analogy between like low level Digimon when they evolve, it's basically them maturing. And like he's kidnapping children and kidnapping low level Digimon, and then if the Digimon shows any interest in being bigger or the child wants to be bigger, he basically tries to kill them. While screaming like, "You're not allowed to grow up!" And like that was like good and visual. And they had a really cool scene of a mother whose brain had been wiped and she didn't realize that her child was stolen, and she went to the room and like, this room shouldn't be here. What are all these photos? Why is this kid on my phone? Why is my phone in this room? And then she like freaks out. We never see any resolution to that, but
Okay.
I like shit like that, and it's just weird that the last 5 minutes were like, and really he's not that bad. Like, they pulled out with Mummymon, but they did better because Mummimon's thing was, I want to do medicine. However, my only access to human medicine is this book on ancient Egyptians. I'm assuming I have to turn you into a mummy.
Whoops, my bad.
Yeah, that's how it ended. Whoops, my bad.
And then he didn't know. He didn't know. That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
That's
But like, and like the one before that, they had like Evil Tree, which was really fun because he totally ate people, and killed a total murderer. But these last two, like it was really strong concept and fun play out, and then it just felt a little weird. I do feel slightly there's a bit of wheel spinning before they can move on to the next big plot points, which are explaining Gullus Ganamon and starting to introduce the ultimate forms.
Right.
So I think it's just wheel spinning a little bit, which is, listen, nothing's perfect. It's still a fun show. Revice episode 21. Really hard to talk about without big spoilers, but
Is it part 3 of the story, right?
the part 3 is done. This is the follow up. So
okay.
So episodes 18 to 20 were big episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Revice 21 or 22? It's the newest episode of Revice. Last 3 were big episodes, lots of character stuff, some big twists, and, well, I'm calling it the fucking fake out, but I'm fine with it. This is the follow-on from this, and some stuff is introduced, like Kaguro is brought back into the scene. I think he's going to be playing a bigger role going forward. We've got some stuff with Sakura and her reveals. The villains are making a new move, which is interesting. We also find out something not surprising, but it's good to have confirmation about Olteka. There's a bit for George and how he's being sinister, and the intro's been changed as well to bring in the other riders, except demons, which for obvious reasons. But most of it's a kind of, you've had all the serious, let's have a bit of relaxation episode.
Mm-hmm.
With some plot stuff in the end of it. New form is introduced, Jack Revice. Which, considering it's just a black and grey repaint of base Revice's suit with some retooling and adding spikes, it actually looks pretty good.
Okay.
Loses all the Rex details now. It's just kind of like generic. Like, it's like it doesn't have like the eyes and everything else, and the teeth aren't Rex teeth; they're Vice's teeth.
Is the color placement a little bit better on it, and generally color choice? Because I still say that all of those forms have really bad color placement and choice.
No, I like it. It's it uses good, like the silver is a highlight, the gray is a highlight on it.
Okay.
And the fight scene's pretty good. It's more tonally good than necessarily like one of their better choreographed one, but it's well done. But most of it is kind of like lighthearted. Icky and Vice have to be bodyguards for a pair of comedians who are being attacked by dead men. They're real life comedians. Slight problem is they are broad Tsukiyomi Japanese comedians.
Oh, so the humor's very not
very
Western-y. Yeah.
Very, very broad. And then for Tsukiyomi is a straight man, so one is really goofy, one is straight.
Yes.
Always pairs. Very, very popular in Japan. And now it's not just that, it's a parody of that.
Oh.
Which means it's not very funny.
Well, for the Western, for us at least. I
think for anyone, because
really?
it's very flat. Like, when I say parody, it's basically just like, it's a iffy. I don't feel like this guy writes comedy.
I think the most egregious
which
thing
is
from the
weird
sounds of things...
which is weird. I will say that weird. There's a scene with one of the characters, Julio, Tamaki, whatever he's calling himself these days. There's a scene with him which is genuinely funny, and I laughed out loud. But that is a genuine coming from the characters and events bit of comedy. Everything else is really fucking staged.
Right.
Not even in the I think if you're a kid you'll giggle at it kind of way, except maybe he made a funny face.
Okay.
It's so broad, it's too broad, I think.
You make it sound like it's not really pushing the story either. It's kind of just 2 filler episodes for humor's sake, for comedy's sake. Is that what you're trying to get at?
It should be.
Oh.
But there's stuff at the end is big story stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With Vice and Nikki, and it's really obviously setting up an idea, because this is all about partnerships and how Vice and Nikki are now a partnership and how their relationship is building, and it cool, but this is the weakest episode of Revice I'd say maybe ever. Which, to be fair, it's been a very fun show and a very good show so far, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's a come down from the last one in terms of quality.
It sounds like it's skippable, and you wouldn't really miss anything unless part 2 does something
crazy.
I
think part 2 is going to have a lot of plot stuff, and I think you at least need to see some scenes from this. I think you need to see the Kagura scene. You need to see the Sakura scene. You need to see that end scene, that end fight scene. But you also don't need to see Icky and Vice going on hey, we're friends. Yeah, you are. We know. We've had many story arcs building this relationship up naturally. We don't need you also they include one of the movie forms just for hey, it's a movie form, which is again being used to highlight the relationship they have and partnership so there's 3 scenes in here that are kind of spread throughout the whole episode. One's at the start, one's at the end, and one's in the middle that you do need to see, and the rest I'm not so sure. I'll need to see. I think part 2 is going to be pretty plot heavy, but it's also going to have more of the comedians, guys. I'm not really looking forward to them. Yeah. And apart from Revice still a very good show. It is not dulling my enthusiasm for the series at all. It's just, they ain't going to be perfect. But last thing is I watched Ousama Ranking, or Ranking of Kings.
Yay!
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright. I mean, it's passable.
You don't want to say I'm right, do you?
No, I don't.
No, it's really good.
I choose not to. Yeah, no, it's excellent. It is excellent. Wow.
You wouldn't suspect it from how it looks, though.
Static images and posters, because it is styled like a 1960s kids anime or kids manga.
Yeah. It kind of looks like. Do you remember Ni no Kuni? Do you remember that game? Yeah. Kind of looks like that. The animation in it's good though when it does stuff.
I was watching the opening and I was just like, oh, I don't really like the first opening, I will say, but the second opening made me cry. I really like the second opening, but I was watching the opening. I was just like, okay, and then I saw a name, Wit Studio. Oh no. Yeah, they do very pretty animation.
They do.
The animation in this... Okay, so the style will not work for everyone, I will say that. But the animation quality is excellent.
Yeah, it's on point.
Sometimes it goes beyond excellent for some of the action scenes. Basic story, Andy probably covered it last week, but I just want to give a quick rundown. Main character is Boji, a deaf-mute child whose father is a giant, who's the king. Father is not in the best of health, someone has to be king. Boji makes a new friend called Kage. And it's basically they have to deal with some fallout and magical adventures and stuff like that. I'm making it sound a lot lighter than it is.
That's what I did as well when I was talking about it last week. When were you hooked? What episode got you hooked? Because I think by episode 2... I think. Yeah, 2. It's 2, isn't it? And you're like, oh, fuck. It's so emotional. And you're like, shit.
Yeah, and with these very specific... it's not horrific. That's the thing.
No.
Kage's backstory isn't horrific because of the visuals. But... it's so affecting. I like the way, I saw some people online say, oh, it's a dark show. It's not dark, it's mature.
Yes, yeah.
There's a big, big difference. It's not trying to gross you out. It has a lot of violence in it, and some of that violence is extreme. Mm-hmm. It's never graphic.
It's not Ninja Scroll, for instance.
No, it's not trying to gross you out.
No.
It's just there's something going on with Boji and a river of blood at one point, that is not pleasant, but the point is you were supposed to be affected by his reaction, not necessarily the torrents of blood falling from above his head.
Yes.
And I can't say anything more without huge
Yes,
spoilers,
I know what you're talking about now. It's like River of Blood now. Oh, yeah.
But Boji is incredibly well done as a protagonist. Boji is an example of how to do a silent protagonist because, one, it's not a gimmick.
No.
It is who he is. He never comes across he comes across as immature. He never comes across as stupid or, hey, his disabilities are being played as a gag. He comes across as very capable, very kind-hearted, very well-meaning.
I can't remember. Do we know how old Boji's meant to be? I assume he's like 10 or below, right? I think that's the idea.
Well, no, like, you can't tell because, like,
know.
It's a very medieval story. Like, he's older than Daida, and Daida looks early teens.
Maybe. Again, it's
like
because
10
of
to
the
12.
visual style as well. It's a little bit hard to gauge.
But Boji is immature, possibly because he's been infantilized his whole life. And does an incredible job of characterizing this guy by his reactions, by the sounds he makes, by everyone else's interactions with him. I messaged Andy just like, Andy, they don't know he can lip read. Andy, they don't know he can lip read.
You sent me that without context, and I was like, oh, Mikey's enjoying the show. Mikey started watching now.
Yeah, and it's just because there's a moment very early on. I think it's actually episode 1.
It's episode 1, yeah,
where someone says something, and they say, "Don't translate that part," and I'm just like, "Oh, he knows."
Yeah.
Characters are extremely complex.
Yeah, all of them. Loads of them. Loads of them. Like, way more than you'd think would be complex. Like, characters that you think would just be throwaway. Oh, no. There's something here. Wow.
If you're talking about an early example, I think Domas is really good, because Domas is introduced as the disappointed master.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And, like, you're introduced seeing Domas, like, you feel like Domas is going to have a moment where he goes like, really, I hate this little shit, but I have to pretend I like him and now I get to train with a real student, and man, it's so much better. And he loves it, but you realize that for his faults, and Domas has a few, he's so much more complex. The people who get to know Boji don't hate him. They do care about him, but they do not see him as capable of leading a country.
Which makes sense.
Because he is... For them, strength is a big thing, ability to inspire people, and this very, very physically weak, disabled person in a medieval town is not going to be seen as strong. Like, he's a prince and normal people make fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it without fear of reprisal. And I love how everyone you think might be against him, they add that little bit of, like, Beeden, whatever his name is.
Bibin, I think it is. Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was going to be an antagonist.
Yeah,
for the longest time.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm watching Boji and everything else." And then they give him. I love the flashback with him and Daida. Like,
yeah.
"Oh, you think Prince Boji's weak? Come with me. And that boy, howdy, that didn't work. Or even finding out, like, Daida is what I call. A lot of people compare this to Game of Thrones. I say it is if Game of Thrones was as good as the hype said it was. Because this is better than Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Like, hey, what if Joffrey was a person?
Yeah. He's not just a little shit for being a little shit's sake. There's a lot more to him than just being a bad...
There's no shock in this.
And you can see why he... Like, the show even states why Daida becomes resentful towards his brother.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can see why that would happen. He sees him as weak and pathetic.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
Yeah, and you go like, oh, well, how does that give him layers? Well, you have to realize why he came to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the pressures that were put on Daida when he was young.
Yeah.
And then what he's never had to confront in his life. And then he's made to confront it in a very cool way, where he absolutely calls someone a monster in a scene where most people would have that, like, oh, I'm shocked, but I need to treat you with respect moment. And he's just like, no, I'm still Daida, and my instant reaction is to say you're a monster.
Well, to be fair, I would say that's like a normal reaction to seeing a character not have a face, which we don't see, but we assume a skinned face.
Yeah, but it's the context of the character as well.
Yes, like, 100%.
Because like, again, like most series, you'd have the unrealistic reaction.
That's right. Yeah, you'd have the person be, no, you're not a monster. It's like, no, most people would see them and be like, oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, and they might move on, and they might try and help, but they would initially not react well.
Yes.
Kage is really good as a character. I really like him. I like everyone, really. Like, everyone's got so many layers. There's
Yeah.
no bad guy. Well, there are bad guys. There are people who are antagonists.
I describe them as bad people rather than bad guys, because
Yeah,
bad
they
guys
are-
gives you the idea that they're there, they want to destroy the
They've
world.
got layers. They've got a
Yeah.
lot. One in particular, I do not want to spoil it because it's a huge spoiler that this person is an antagonist.
Mhm.
But he is shown to have made some very selfish, very, very selfish choices in his life.
We
And he's also
assume at the
shown-
moment,
Yeah, at least what, like,
seemingly.
one because of who it affects and what it did to them.
Yeah,
You can never justify that to me. You can
The-
never tell me that ultimately it was worth it.
the reason I say this is because every time, like, you've gone,
Yeah.
oh, this character's a bad... Well, not you specifically, obviously. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, you, the viewer, goes, oh, this character's a bad character, or they've done an evil thing, or there's no reason why they did this. The show then shows you, maybe not straight away, maybe it's 3 or 4 episodes later, that character's backstory, and you go, oh, no, that makes sense why they did this. Not good, but you go, oh, that's relatable. No, that makes sense why they do that.
Yeah. It doesn't justify what they did.
No.
And in fact, there's one character, there's a king in it, who is very much shown to have done
Despa.
just maybe...
Desha? Is it Desha or Despa?
Desha.
Despa's the pretty one.
Despa didn't take it well.
No, that's right.
He has done some of the most twisted shit I've seen, beyond, like, hey, let people being violently raped in a monster anime porn something. But the fact they show him doing that and then show him... And he's a character you don't think is going to be a character.
He looks like a One Piece villain, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then they add so much more to him.
Yeah.
And his brother, I think they add a lot to, very simply. Not Despa, the other one.
Owen? Oden?
Oken.
That's it.
Oken, I think it is.
Yeah, it's Oken, yeah.
My favorite character is Hilling.
Oh, Hilling's great. You
love-
think she's going to be the evil stepmother, and it's like, no.
Yeah, she
Nope.
set up so much in that
Yeah.
first episode to make you think, and she is, I of course, because again, as I said, I research everything. I did some reading around after I'd caught up because you are not fucking spoiling this for me, internet. But most of the original story has not been translated, so no one
interesting.
knows, which is good.
Oh.
Basically, apparently the tone went from burn Hilling in a fire to, oh my god, the best mother in the world.
Yeah, Hilling's great.
Yeah,
Overprotective, but very good.
And I love how they play her overprotectiveness. Like, it's not that she
Yeah.
didn't form a relationship with this child and felt sorry for them. She formed a big-ass relationship with this child and was terrified for him.
Yeah.
And was terrified for the country that he would lead. And it made her push him away a bit because she wanted him to toughen up while also giving her space to tell the other child, look after your brother.
Yeah.
While also deeply caring about both of them. And, like, when she just says, that's my boy moment, like,
man.
I think it was episode 16 or 17, was just like, ah!
There are so many tear up moments in the show, and there's only been 16 episodes. There's so many. Many.
Like, not like, I don't feel emotionally manipulated by the show. I mean, I'll show them emotionally manipulate you.
You sure?
But, yeah,
it feels earned because it feels very well written and human, and you go, oh
Yeah.
wow, that is a very relatable thing. That's why it's emotional.
And Hilling is just put in so many great situations, and she's got really fun design.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Even in this show, she has comically large breasts.
Yes.
Even in a show with this style, someone has comically large breasts.
Yeah.
You
can see why Boss was all happy about like his new wife.
The logistics of that don't make sense.
I tried to figure out how that would work, and I'm like, it has to be magic. Effectively.
It has to be magic.
Yeah, it's the only reason.
Okay. But Hilling is just, oh man, I love her relationship with Boji, and I love how bad she is with people in general.
Yeah.
I really like her bodyguard, Dorsch.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I just
know
remember he's a badass.
he is the best. Again, showing his background and just like, am I being demoted? And it's like, listen, if you don't want to do this job in a month's time, tell me, and we'll talk about it again.
Again, a character you think that wasn't going to get any backstory? Not really, anyway. You got loads.
You want it? Yeah, got loads, and
Loads.
It's so because it's all about like seeing the better side of people, which is what Boji's all about, which is kindness and seeing the better.
Did you see what I meant when I told you pretty much every episode is packed with story or character?
Absolutely.
I think, oddly enough, the last episode was the first episode that felt kind of light. But still had
'cause
stuff in it, but it was a lot lighter.
But it was because it was based around one event.
Yes, it was mainly a conflict of like two opposing forces, which we were told, don't ever let these two fight. It won't go well.
And I guessed why very quickly,
same.
and I was right, and it was like, oh shit, that's bad.
That's very bad.
That's very, very bad.
Oddly enough, I think we've seen how that fight's going to conclude, though. I think it's going to be Healing that does it.
I would make sense to me.
Yeah.
It would make sense. And by God, if she sees that, she'll be. It's not like you could stop her.
No, exactly. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. I do.
That poor Dorsch is behind her, just like, no, not again. I can't run as fast.
I love Hydra, a 3-headed snake that has only two heads and only one eye. I feel so bad for that snake.
One of the major secondary characters is a gigantic Hydra.
Yeah.
Who is the most polite person in the entire show.
Yeah.
He's
so injured.
He's so like when he was a baby as well, he got fucked up.
Yeah, we don't know why or how. He just did.
Well, presumably because he's a freak.
I guess, yeah. Maybe he was attacked by other snakes.
Well, like we know his head. Like we know people were stabbing him.
Yes.
Who were dickheads and got what they deserved.
Yes.
But we know like we never see him with the third head.
No, never.
But I love that this show has a secondary character who's a giant monster snake covered in vicious wounds, and my residing memory is just like, he's really good friends with Boji.
Yeah, isn't he nice? He helped him train. I love him. Don't hurt him anymore.
And he was really polite to Hilling and was really nice to her and saying, evening, thank you, lovely to meet you. It's like, also I'm like, this is complete fan theory, I'm 80% sure, but like Dorsch is in love with Hilling.
I wouldn't be shocked. It from the story narrative, it would make sense.
It would make. He's going to be Boshi's dad. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of interesting things going on with Boss that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, no. Boss is like, because Boss went from very 2-dimensional to very 3-dimensional.
Yeah, he went from stoic father to he's very evil to, is he though?
Yeah, I also like how from the start they don't. I expected them to play up the fact that this giant strong man, his reaction to his weak son is, I don't like you, get out of my house.
Yeah, you're a disappointment to me. You'll never be as good as me. Yeah,
and the first thing he says to him, like, okay, so I adore you, but you're not really where I need you to be.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then we find out, okay, there's some dark shit in the background there, and his first reaction upon meeting Boji is, I'm starting a kingdom. Why? My son will be happy, or I will burn this place to the ground.
Yeah. So strange. Right. So good.
There's one character we haven't had a lot of focus on, who's in the new intro with a new form and has been hinted recently in a flashback. I don't want to say who it is because it is a big spoiler.
Do they have interesting teeth?
They do have interesting teeth.
Yes. There's a lot in that intro now that you go, we gotta get something in this half of the show to explain what that's saying in the intro.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that's like, I want to say this person's evil, but I don't want to because I keep on being proven fucking wrong.
Yeah, because are they evil? I mean, they look evil.
They're in the intro though, and they don't.
They always look. Yeah, they don't look. Yeah, they definitely don't look evil in that intro. But is that a trick, or is that because they're not evil? Yeah.
But yeah, like apparently this story in Japan it's divided into 2 parts, and the second part hasn't started yet.
I would assume
again,
the first.
I don't know any fucking details, but I hope this is like the full first part. I hope they adapt the whole thing.
My assumption was the way that this story works is like this season or whatever you want to call this is Boji becoming king of this kingdom, and then the second or the future stories will be him becoming the number one ranked king, since all the kings are ranked, and that's judged on how strong they are, how well they govern the people, etc., etc., etc. I assume that's how they were setting it up. I was like, oh, that's fine. That's
Daida's number 72 or something like that.
Who was that? Sorry,
Daida's like 72 or 94 or something. like that.
Yeah, he was pretty low, and Desha is the second strongest. So we've not met the number one yet.
No, Boss was number 7, but I think it was like, he's number 7, but he not necessarily should be.
Yeah, and we did learn that the number 1 gets a divine relic which is interesting because they said that it drives people insane or it lets them see something about God and it makes them mad. And it's like, okay, well, there's a big story drip that we're not going to get any info on, I assume, for a while.
Also, this show caught me out because at the moment where you say giant women only have one child in their life, and I was about to say okay, this is me being a nerd, but that's not plausible because you'd have zero population growth. In fact, you don't every generation you lose one person per relationship. Just and then the show follows up oh yeah, we're dying out because of it.
Yeah, it's you covered it. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we got it.
Touche.
Good work, game. Sorry, good work, film series.
It feels very Scandinavian to me in general.
In terms of
the way the mythology plays out. It's
it's got giants and it's got demons. So I could see that.
It doesn't feel Western medieval mythology.
No,
it feels Scandinavian specific. I feel like I'm watching Beowulf or something like that.
I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah,
I did also think it was kind of cool on a side note that one of the prisoners released got a backstory as well.
Oh my god!
Not the ogre, the man. And then got to you got to find out why he became a villain, and it referenced a character who you randomly met way earlier on, the Wilderness King. You're like, who's this guy? You find out who he is. You don't know why he does what he does, but it's like, oh shit, it's that guy. Holy shit! Backstory again.
Yep. The only ones who didn't get a backstory so far from the criminals are what
the bandit chief hasn't.
The bandit chief and the assassin. The pair of assassins.
Yeah, the ginger haired dude and the
red
other
and black.
Dude with
they're literally named
sword.
Red and Black.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did enjoy the bit with the bandit guy and the poison. I was just I love that. For me, there was no tension because I just went, oh no, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I remember. I went, oh, wow, you've already set this up for us. This is fantastic. You're not just doing it and then going, oh yeah, by the way, this doesn't work. Ha ha ha. You set this up 3 or 4 episodes ago that it wouldn't work. It's great, good stuff.
Yeah,
what a good show.
Appis's conflicted loyalties are really well handled because he has no resentment towards these people.
Yes, he's very much like Kage in some ways, which is nice. Again, a nice little parallel.
But again, these people who are making bad choices are still making bad choices because, without spoiling something happens where someone is very, very, very willing to let someone who is a good person get torn to fucking shreds.
Yeah,
and it's even just well, I'm leaving. You can stay and watch. Literally, the horror show is going to start now. We're leaving. And, I was they're not going to kill that person, but the other person there is not doing so hot.
No, and they didn't, to be fair.
And they did, thank fuck. But,
yeah.
Because I don't want them to, because it was a hero moment. But
yes,
I want, man, it's such a good show.
It is. It's great.
And I love the fact they got the right studio for it. I would hate to see this with bloody 3D, bad CG 3D animation, or something that just didn't have the budget. No, they got Wit. For me, it's Wit Studio now is one of those studios. I can't comment on the writing for every show because they're different writers, different everything else, different adaptations. But man, do I expect a certain level of a minimum quality. It's like Ufotable. I expect a minimum level of quality that will be good.
Yeah, I 100% agree. When you see the name Wit Studio, you go, oh, I know what I'm getting here. I'm getting something even if the style, as we said, the style doesn't do it for you, you go, oh, it's going to be pretty. It's going to look great. Yeah,
and if there's any problem with that, you go okay, something fucking went wrong with this beyond the norm. It's like Trigger. If something goes wrong with a Trigger show visually, you know some bad shit went on behind scenes.
Yeah, we've bitched about Darling in the Franxx many a time, but the visuals were not one of them that fucked up.
No. So just
they're doing Spy X Family with Studio this year.
Are they?
Yeah. And I remember hearing people saying quite good things of Spy X Family.
Oh, excellent. I still need to check out Rolling Girls because I saw a clip from that and the fight scenes looked amazing.
Rolling Girls. Oh, okay.
It's an older one. I went through Wit's entire catalog. Obviously, they're most famous for doing Attack on Titan, the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan.
Cabanera in the Iron Fortress, which is a terrible, terrible show, but is very well animated.
Yes.
Oh, they did Ancient Magus Bride, which was super pretty as well.
Yeah, Vinland Saga. I heard a lot of stuff. That is very Norse. I've heard a lot of stuff about that, and I haven't seen it.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but again, it was very, very pretty.
Great Pretender, I wanted to see because it's a crime thingy. Kind of a heist series. kind of Lupin the Third kind of thing. Onipan, I don't know anything about, but it's not out yet. Vivi, we saw Vivi.
Yes.
Vivi had the advantage of having a very good writer and very good animation.
Yeah. For some reason, though, oddly enough, I thought it was okay, but it didn't. There was just something that just didn't work for me. Maybe it was the ending. I don't know.
Yeah, the way I put Vivi is I really enjoyed it, but I don't right now feel any desire to go back and rewatch it.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree.
Like, and that's not commenting on the necessary quality of it, but it's like ReZero, same creator. I would rewatch ReZero basically anytime you put the idea in my head. I think
you need to as well with ReZero.
Yeah,
because there's a lot that happens in that show.
But Vivi, it's just one like I enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. I just don't feel a need to go back to it.
I would agree. I think that's fair to say, yeah.
They only did the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. They're not doing the new one, and I don't know. I haven't, like, all I know about the new one is what I know about the story and some of the memes that have popped up. Don't worry,
I can talk to you about that, because I did that this week.
Oh, it's Mappa. Mappa took over.
Yeah, Mappa did it, and Mappa's good. There's Mappa's a bit too much CGI in it, but...
Mappa's a little up and down for me.
It can be. It's not Wit Studio quality.
No,
but Mappa's all right.
They can be really good, and then they can be really like they did Rage of Bahamut.
Oh God,
which was a really mixed show visually.
Yes, yeah. No, I would agree with
that. But yeah, also Mappa's way younger than I thought it was.
Same actually. I'm just having a look at the catalog. Only 2013 really.
Ushio Tora looked good. Punchline, Punchline's another one I've been meaning to watch. Just scrolling through Garo. The Garo animes are really up and down with their visual styles.
Wow, just like the writing. Sorry, Garo. I'm not that sorry. I lied.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, that's me. I really recommend you check out Ranking of the King. Ranking of Kings. I recommend it if you don't watch anime. Check it out. If you can watch an animated show and not go like it's for kids, then watch this. It is a deep, mature, engaging, well-written story that I hope to God has at least a complete feeling season 1.
I think it's worth taking away that Andy was right. There you go.
That's it. And
Andy was right. There we go. You're welcome.
I'm gonna try Odd Taxi probably during the week.
It's not quite as like engaging as that, but I think you'll still enjoy Odd Taxi because Odd Taxi is still a good show. It's just not. It's like a shonen series versus another kind of series. It's like they're very different, but still good.
God, I just checked one of the wit ones called Kadama no Ganjiro.
What's that then? Sounds like a sexually transmitted disease.
Well, it looks like it should be kids collectible, except the first picture does look like it has to do with an STD, where a long red thing with a face pops out of a child's zipper.
Oh, okay. They did a Pokemon movie too, apparently.
Did they?
Pokemon the movie, The Power of Us. I don't think it would be a good film, but it'll be pretty. I'll tell you that. It'll be pretty.
What was the last? I think the last Pokemon movie I watched was like
the first
5.
one. That was the last one for me.
I watched the first one. I watched the second one. I watched the second one in cinemas. I remember. I like Lugia. I watched the second one. I liked it. I actually, in terms of story, I think the second one might be a little bit better.
Oh, I'm sure the first one wasn't very good.
No, it had good ideas.
Yeah, it never followed through because it's Pokemon.
Like Mewtwo's cool. Mewtwo's just cool.
End of. Yeah, definitely.
And the prologue for that was actually very good. I remember that distinctly. The backstory for Mewtwo.
Yeah. It was just when Ash got involved, it got shit, which is unsurprising.
Yeah, because Ash got involved.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I've got this ultra powerful Pokemon. What are you going to do with Ash? Let it go.
I'm going to cry. I win. Yeah. Sorry, Pikachu's going to cry, and then we win.
Yeah. Ash, how many gods do you know? All of them.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, what were you up to, Andy?
Right, well, I watched some animes this week. I watched... I'm caught up to date now with Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2.
Have you seen porn parody Attack on Titties?
I haven't. I'm not sure if that's a joke or not, because that sounds like a title of a porno.
I don't know if you're joking.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, it's good. It started off in an interesting way. The twist about who the main antagonist is, I think I'm okay with. I'm a little bit concerned because it technically does a little bit of time travel, so it makes my anus scrunch up a little bit in panic Dio, because it always does. But if it hits the landing for me, I think that's the important part. The visuals are entertaining enough. I do have a minor issue with. I can say this because it happened at the end of the last season, the final season, part 1. The main town is being attacked, and that place gets wrecked. I assume everybody left. I don't think they did, but while they're fighting in the city town place, it feels like it's a completely abandoned city for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. But it's not a bad thing. I am enjoying it for the most part. I just don't feel that we're in far enough for me to say too much praise or negative things about it. It's not like Ousama Rankings, where it's just disgustingly packed to the brim with so much story and stuff. But
one thing I'm pretty comfortable saying, I'm still very surprised that after 4 seasons they've hit the end. I would easily say you could get 5-6 seasons out of Attack on Titan.
You mean extra or in total?
In total, I think, just like when I heard it was season 4 as the final season, I was actually just a little bit surprised, just because I was expecting to do a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they're finishing it off as they are, but it doesn't seem like it's suffering storytelling-wise at the moment by doing it. There was just a big time skip, but it seems like it's still running fine at the moment. I did also watch the Demon Slayer movie and caught up to date on the Demon Slayer show as well. I'm up to date on it. Actually, the last episode's tonight at some point when it's available to watch. So the Mugen Infinity Train movie is just like Demon Slayer. It's not got a lot of story. It's very flat, I find. But man, it's pretty. It's like popcorn. It's like a summer blockbuster. I definitely think Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer got better for the first season when they did the spider demons, which was the end part of the show. And with this, it's a lot more focused. Obviously, the movie's a lot more focused because it's an entire arc, which you could. The movie feels like what happened to it, because the movie was adapted into the first half of the season as well, this new season, and there's multiple points in that where you're like, oh, this is where they'd cut it off. Oh, this is where they'd cut it off for an episode. Not like in a bad way. It's just like if you were going to do an edit and turn the movie into a TV show, that's how you do it. It's fine. Like I say, visually very pretty. It's ufotable. No shock. Oddly enough, though, I wouldn't say the visuals make it look like a movie quality ufotable movie, but that's not a detriment because ufotable work is so good visually. It's really hard to tell what is a movie, or what should be a movie budget, what isn't a movie budget, if you know what I mean, just because ufotable's crazy. The Entertainment District arc, which is the stuff going on at the moment, it was again very pretty, not much in terms of story, more focused again than season 1, but I definitely feel like, I think from like episode maybe 8 or 9, I was kind of looking at my watch going, they're stretching this fight out. They're like, oh, it's over. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's over. Oh, no, it's not. It keeps going. It keeps going because, you know, I've seen Dragon Ball Z. So have you. We've both seen Naruto. So have you listeners, assuming you have. It definitely feels like it's in that, you know, that ballpark of, do you know what a shonen anime is? I'm like, I do. Well, get ready, because we're going to stretch this shit out. Pretty as fuck, but they definitely stretch it. But yeah. If you want popcorn, if you don't want to think too much, Demon Slayer is going to be a very pretty plate of McDonald's. Oh, no, it's probably more Burger King. Burger King's, I think, a little bit better quality than a Mackie D's. But, like, if you want story, Ousama Ranking, that's your fine steak. Kimetsu no Yaiba, your dirty burger, but it's very pretty to look at. And I have watched a few episodes, or rewatched a few episodes of Gunsword. I watched 3 episodes today, because I was like, why not? Got time to kill before the podcast, so go for it. It's good, man. I didn't realize how bad the English dub was, though.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Oh, it's really bad. Dan's got this really high voice compared to like his Japanese counterpart. Japanese Van, Japanese Van, like his voice is like really low and it sounds like he wants to kill himself all the time. And the other guy just sounds like Steve Blum not doing any voice acting, just like if Steve Blum was talking. No, not an offense to Steve Blum. It's just if Steve Blum was told, you walked up to him on the street one day and you started having a conversation, that would be his kind of tone. It's like there's nothing to it. Oh, okay. I think you missed the mark here. But I got to see the El Dorado 5 episode, and that was the good stuff. Like, yeah! I like that episode. Yeah, good stuff, still good. Still fun. Still entertaining at least 4 episodes in. I was disgusted about when it came out, though. It was 2005.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck, what, why? No, stop that. Stop telling me these things that make me sad. And I finished Psychonauts this week on stream. I finished it last night.
Oh, yes, I saw you were playing that.
Yeah. Finished it completely. Enjoyed it. I think it's got some issues storytelling-wise. Like, there are some characters where you're like, where did Dr. Loboto come from? The man who's stealing children's brains. There's no real explanation of where he came from or stuff like that. So there's definitely a little bit here and there where you're like, story doesn't quite add up, but it's still a very fun ride. It's a really good Double Fine experience. I like the characters in it, though there's not much to them, I would say. But there's a lot of good bits of humor in there. Have you played it?
Yeah, I've played the first one. I haven't played the second one.
Oh, same.
I will play the second one at some point. But apparently there's a VR game which is in canon, which fills in some stuff that is referenced in the second. So I might, before I play number 2, I am going to just watch a playthrough of that.
When did it come out?
Referring to things.
Ages ago? Not too long ago?
Psychonauts.
Because I did see a random playthrough that came up on YouTube on the search bar, and I was like, what the hell is this? VR game? That's probably a mod someone made. And now I find out it's now.
What is it? It's abandoned by a guy who made a game called Full Throttle. Apparently the creator of this is weird.
Well, yeah, it's Tim Schafer, surely, right?
Yep, Tim Schafer.
Yeah, he's the guy who does Double Fine.
Yeah. Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin.
Okay.
Which is 2017.
Oh, wow, so it's quite new. Okay, well, fair play. No, I enjoyed it. There were some parts that I got a little bit annoyed with, and getting all the collectibles is a real pain. I found picking up the figments, specifically the 2D figments, is more irritating than getting most collectibles, because depth perception in 3D jumping games can sometimes be an issue, and jumping to get a 2D object, which at certain angles can literally become invisible because it is a flat 2D object, is a little bit irritating. And you don't get like a special guide to help you find these things. Like there's no like little pointer that will show you the way to go. Some of the bits of the combat as well were a little bit not the most fun. Like I'd say just generally the combat not the best. You know, when you fight the sensors, usually you just end up using your side blast and that's it over and over again and do nothing else.
I would say the thing about Psychonauts is that it's a really cool world with some really great concepts, but the game engineering was not wholly there yet. It's a game that rides in its style and its personality.
I'd say some ideas as well, because I think the ideas that they have in there are neat. There's one puzzle, though, that's absolute horseshit in the game, though. And I only did it because like there was someone in my chat who'd done it before and said, oh yeah, I didn't know how to do this puzzle. It's when you're inside Doyle the Milkman.
And the Milkman, he's fun.
He is. You're in this weird suburbia area and you go into this hedge maze place.
And the fucking maze.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to talk about, don't you? You see a crow fly up, and there are 3 gates. There's one in the center where you're meant to go to get a flower. There's one to the side which is double gated. They're not even gates, sorry. They're just 2 giant fences. And then on the right-hand side, there is a fence with a gate that you can jump over. And you're like, okay, I'll jump over the gate. And the flower's still blocked off around the corner by another giant fence. And you go, I don't know what to do. The solution is you use a clairvoyance to look through the crow's eyes, and then you run through one of the gates, and then it just opens. And to me, there is no indication that that's how that should work. No indication. Why is it that the gate opens now that you can look through the crow's eyes when it was locked previously? It's not like, don't get me wrong, I thought the idea would be behind it, like, it would be a optical illusion, so you look through the crow's eyes, and you'd be able to, like, because of the way the crow was looking at the area, it would, like, basically form platforms that weren't there before, and you'd be able to jump over the gate. So, something kind of clever like that. No, you look through the crow's eyes, one of the gates you walk through, and then the gate that you need to go through just randomly opens because you walk through that gate. That was not... You couldn't go through unless you were looking through the crow's eyes. I don't understand. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. I can't argue with that one.
Yeah, it's bad. Terrible. But no, generally enjoyable. But it's definitely a Double Fine game, i.e., it's not the smoothest experience.
No.
Which is every fucking Double Fine game. Every fucking Double Fine game is, you come away going, wow, that was really interesting of a game, and I liked it, but it had a lot of issues to it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's the second game as well. I guess I'll find out. The issue with the second one for me is it's on Steam, right? And let me throw down a note. Monster Hunter Rise, Elden Ring, they are... Oh, actually, we don't know about Elden Ring. I think we can assume Elden Ring is going to be $49.99, right? That's the standard price for a AAA title, right?
Yep.
It's the same price for Nier Replicant while it's not on sale. Same price for Neo 2. Psychonauts 2, $54.99. I guarantee you that is not as good of a game as Monster Hunter Rise, Elden Ring, Neo 2. I guarantee you that. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm going to throw that out, right? I don't think that's unfair to say.
I mean, you might be wrong.
I mean, yeah, I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I wanna know if it's still as clunky of a game as the first one. I assume it's not. I assume they fixed a lot of the kind of clunkiness. At least I'd hope that would be the case. It looked. Don't get me wrong, it looked good because I saw Silver Veil play it on stream. I guess when it first came out, and I thought, oh no, this looks good. And I stopped watching because I wanted to play it just at some point in the future.
Same.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all I've been up to this week. We will quickly, because time is running out again, go through some stuff. Tenemon4 goes, man, some of those animes sure sound like hentai setup. I don't remember what we said last week.
You couldn't be more specific, could you?
Well, to be fair, with anime, no.
Yeah.
He needs to be, because every anime could be the start of a hentai, and sometimes have
even Ranking of Kings could be a hentai.
Could be, easily. Yeah, I'm sure there are probably Jojins for it out there now.
Look at this show with this very motherly figure with large breasts and her young son.
Yes.
Who's adopted, which means they're not blood relatives.
So it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't even... Sometimes it can still be related, and it's still okay. ... Anyways, let's have a laugh at Mikey for thinking JoJo Part 6, aka Stone Ocean, has nothing to do with Dio! !
I still haven't watched it, so I don't know.
Nah, man, it's Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable you were thinking about. Wait, never mind, I just remembered the Dadmuk thing was related as well as the arrow. I don't know what any of that means.
You're not even using words anymore, man.
It's just things. I guess it's hard to get away from the series' most villain. I think most iconic villain is what's meant. He then came back in the reboot starring Cowboys, aka Steel Ball Run. I still don't know what's being said.
No.
Personally. And speaking of media and taking the piss out of COVID, I think South Park did a good job with their specials. It really did. All of the South Park specials have been... They're a lot of fun. I would recommend watching them. They were also able to get out of basically doing an entire season for Comedy Central for just doing like an hour and a half long special.
That must have been very
an hour
nice
long
for
special.
them, considering their usual production schedules, which is 4 days.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, they would definitely milked Comedy Central. So it's like good for them. Good for them. Not that they need the money. Lastly, I have keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on the Switch, and yes, it does run like shite on the platform, but I'll take it so I can play while taking a shit. Good to know. Well, Mikey, you can do that too, because it's on your phone, isn't it?
Dreams.
Always and forever. And that's why the Switch is selling like hotcakes. I think there are other reasons, but okay. Yeah.
I'm just
Having
blinking
the
now.
ability to
I'm
poo and
loudly
play.
blinking.
I mean, we VTubers are doing it. We definitely know that. We definitely know that the girls are going and pooping on the toilet while playing the Switch.
Idle meeting.
It's just happening. Idle meetings, yes, idle meetings. And I had to upgrade from Power of the Dragons starter deck to Dragon Maid deck, as it's way more consistent. And Dragon Maid's Shio has some juicy thighs.
I knew he was going to say something. The second he started, I was just like, I'm waiting for it.
Also has 3,500 attack power. Now that's sexy! Exclamation mark. It also don't use any of the new dumb gimmicks. Just in quotations, G1 stuff like fusion,
My arse.
and GY jumping. I don't know what that means.
I'm gonna
still needs.
Yeah, but my arse doesn't use gimmicks.
Okay. Still needs those meta hand traps like Ash Blossom and Max with 2 X's. C to keep the combo baiting decks at bay though. Also, you should give the game a try right now while it's on its honeymoon period and just handing out gems hand over fist.
I will agree with that. It's like at the moment, it's not hard at all to actually build up decks.
I'm sure that will change.
Oh my! Yes.
I'm sure that will change. And I've really been enjoying the free single player content as it has it, unlike other multiplayer TCGs. The fact that it gives you like a whole starter deck and pet is a nice bonus. Have fun, dudes. T4 out. There you go. That seems more like a Mikey will understand what I'm saying here than it does me. I was reading words and going, yes. Feels like when Wayne was telling me about how to play Magic the Gathering, and I just sat there going, yes, I am absorbing what you're saying, even though it is 1 o'clock in the morning. This all makes sense. Mikey, any thoughts? Do you have any questions?
I've got one question from Andreas. Hello. Last week's question gave me an idea for another. Do you think the life of every toy collector has similar phases? My example about Transformers, you can apply it to any toy line. Part 1 had a couple of Transformers as kids that I cherished but fell out of because I was a teenager. The Dark Ages, as LEGO fans call them. Part 2, first live-action Transformers film made me wonder if Transformers still existed. 3, found toys and started to buy a bunch, but through toy collector media, I found other Transformer adjacent lines, Macross and Gundam. 4, bought a bunch of those too, but then realized I don't have resources to make everything look interesting. 5, found out what I enjoy and refined my toy collecting. Fair enough, if I had to axe my collection, it would probably be the Transformers first, even if they have brought me this happy. Love to hear your thoughts.
It sounds similar-ish to what I went through, not exactly beat for beat, but you know, I was into Transformers hardcore as a kid. Kind of moved away, moved more to the PlayStation. Got back into it around Armada time because I saw Unicron and I went, oh, okay. Then kind of fell back in from there. And because of people like Dirty Evangelist, I found things like Gao Gai Gar and Kamen Rider and stuff like that. And then as time went on and the toys and media changed, I pulled further out of Transformers and refined what I was going to buy. And now it's been really boiled back now for Transformers, unfortunately. Was that similar for you, Mikey?
I came in a weird way because I never really had Transformers. I had 3 toys as a kid, all of which I didn't know were Transformers, including G2 Megatron. But like I didn't get into Transformers until properly. Like I said, like Fox Kids aired already and everything else, and I watched it. But I wasn't into it, you know. It was just like killing time before Cartoon Network showed the shows I was waiting up for. But I mean, I think there's a bit of it because I think it's more like you hit that one. Like I knew what Transformers were. Then you hit that one sweet spot. It could be the movie, it could be comics, it could be whichever TV show was airing at the moment. It could be just whichever one toy speaks to you, and then that gets you in. And like for the movie, I bought because I didn't even want to buy them at the time because I didn't like the movie, but I bought them because I thought I had to. Like,
no!
I bought a lot of toys. I bought everything, and then that got me into other things. Like got to know Chris, that got you into Kamen Rider, got to know other people, that got me into mecha shows, blah 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 blah. You got me into Gundams.
Yeah, that wasn't my fault till like recently though.
No, I resisted for a long time, but you had to help with COVID. And so on and so on and so on and so on. And then bought too much and then refined things. I've cleared out loads of stuff over the years, and I will again. And Transformers are not necessarily something I would save from the fire, apart from a couple of them. You know?
I would be more willing to say my Transformers collection because, you know, it's a lot of, like, I like the aesthetic of the G1 toys. Obviously they're not, like, in quotations, good as toys now, but I've always been a fan of how those old toys look. Less so season 1, obviously. I think season 3 has a lot more of a visually interesting look to it. But I like a lot of that stuff still, and it would be some of the stuff I'd like to save if things were going to start being set on fire, which I wouldn't want. You know, I don't want my house to burn down, preferably. Crazy as that might sound, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I think it's not a bad scenario. I think it would be interesting to, put that to a wider sample size than just the two of us.
I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but I think I have, like, we know our buddy Wayne, who's like, they are really in it. They are in it really hard. And then something happens and then they just turn it off and they've got nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Because Wayne was kind of a guy who heavily wanted to get every G1 figure, or at least the Japanese ones exclusively. And since he's done that, he's out of Transformers. He has no interest in Transformers anymore. He's done. And he's kind of just dropped it and moved on.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for me, and I think for you as well, Mikey, like, when there are these, at least for us, these slumps in Transformers where there's not a lot for us, obviously where you can tell because we keep complaining it's just G1 over and over again, both me and Mikey have other interests and other hobbies that we can move to, and we can then drift back to Transformers. I think there are some fans, or I don't know how many, I think there might be quite a lot actually, that just have Transformers, which is their main hobby. It's their big one, so if they lose that, they almost feel a little bit lost in some ways.
Yeah.
Is that related to you? Maybe not, might be. Not that that's a bad thing, you know, if you want to be completely dedicated to just Transformers, that's fine.
Like, I think I would always say always have more than one, like, even if it's just, like, it's not a different hobby, it's just more than one aspect to it, because there will all, like, I think if I was to sort of going like my whole psychology thing, I think some of the most extreme reactions you get out of fans, positive and negative, come from people where this is their central hobby, and they don't have a lot of adjacent hobbies. And like this, it's not just like it's their hobby, it's the source of their social circle, it's the source of their relationships. Like, they met their partner through this, they met their friends through this, blah blah blah. And then you take, like, I'm not interested in Transformers anymore. Oh shit, my entire life just crumbled around me because it's the only thing I like, and every single thing I know relates back to it. And
obviously this doesn't just correlate with Transformers. This is like Star Wars and Disney. And all, like, every fandom. It's a similar vein, and I think that's why you have such extreme reactions when a product isn't doing well, or it's not doing something that particular fan likes in general, and you get an extreme reaction, whether it's positive or negative, like exactly like you said, Mikey. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, but like you said as well, it's always like it's always good to have another thing that you like, whether it's a sport or another piece of media or something like that. Expand your horizons. If the thing that you don't like is doing something you don't like, or the thing you like is doing something you don't like, maybe try something new. Try something your friends say, like, hey, check out Ousama Rankings.
Yeah, no, do that. I don't care what your feelings are.
There
are certain things that I will sort of, many things I will say, like, listen, you have your interests, you have your own drives, your own feelings, and that's fine, but shut the fuck up and do what I say.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. Just do it. It is literally Game of Thrones if it was, you know, what you all thought it was. But
I wouldn't say it's literally Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, it's better.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a way to phrase it. I'm like, I can't.
I don't feel like I'm going to get to the end of this and want to punch relatives.
No, I would.
Everyone who told me I should like this show, because that's how
No, that's not fair. You'll still want to punch me. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, but like that'll have nothing to do with it. Like, for anyone who wasn't there a few years ago when Game of Thrones season 8 aired, and I give my opinions, we've got a backlog. It is, I think, worth seeing to see how much someone who wasn't interested in the first place and then binge watch because people bullied him into watching something can really lose his fucking temper over an incredibly poorly executed ending.
I think you'll need to remind me. I don't think I told you had to watch it, did I? Or
No, but
I
I had a lot from a lot of angles.
I'm not surprised that the people did it. I don't remember
It's the
myself
best show on
doing
TV.
it.
You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love it.
That was definitely not me. I don't think I ever
the only
said
thing
that
the only thing I liked was season 7 when it had I liked Tyrion and I liked the dragons, and I liked season 7 when the dragons did something for the first time.
Like where they got shot.
Yeah, but they moved,
which was really stupid.
It was like, oh, we've got a big bolt, and just like he can fly, and he's apparently intelligent enough to know symbolism, so. Kill the symbolism. Oh my fuck! That show got. I still see things
so
about
smart and deep.
We're doing the sequel spin-off thing, and I'm just like, don't give a shit. You know what? The characters were never that good anyway. Most of them are not deep. I'm just saying it.
No,
most of them are not deep. There's a reason I said Joffrey is not a character. He is a child's creation made by a man who wanted to write a story about a lot of boobs and rape.
Damn.
And incest.
Damn.
Now who's better?
Mikey, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me watching Ousama Rankings. So you can contact me on Twitter as Irish Paleo. Also, Jurassic World Dominion trailer came out this week. It's a trailer. I can't comment, and I'll talk when I see the movie. But it's got feathers, and many people are very excited. And also, many people are going like, "It's got feathers, but it's still shit." And I'm just like, "There's literally."
I'm not shocked by that at all.
But it's just like it's got the thing I wanted it. But I'm not happy I've got it.
Why are they not happy they got it? Out of interest.
Because they just...
It looked fine. It was interesting to see. I was like, that's not a real dinosaur in my eyes, but I'm old, so what do I know?
It is really odd to see Blue and a Pyroraptor, and the Pyroraptor's covered in feathers. But it's cool. It's got a Quetzalcoatlus fighting a plane, and that's amazing.
That wasn't a Quetzalcoatl, Mikey. He didn't have giant tits. Come on now. And it wasn't after a small child.
Or doing a luchador move.
Exactly.
I miss her.
Yeah.
There's another thing.
Didn't that movie come out? Hasn't that came out yet?
I have them on my watch list. All the movies come out now, and I know the 2 Camelot ones came out. I do have to finish watching that. And
that's another one I'm interested in.
And then the finale came out, and that was from when the new writer came in, and from the everything. From what I understand, everything changed. So I'm hoping that's good. But if it's not, Babylonia is unassailable in my opinion. Yeah, it is fantastic and is a wonderful standalone story. Yes. Anyway, Irish Paleo, Moonbase 2, blah blah blah. You all know this by now. Andy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter as Decade Andy, on YouTube as Decade Andy, on Twitch as Decade Andy, as I'm streaming there, and on YouTube. You can find me on, the Moonbase 2 podcast. We're on Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. Belch. The usual places. You can also head over to patreon.com/Moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version from the Files of Teletran 2. And you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where me and Mikey talk about non-Transforming things in more detail. And we'll need to do we've got to schedule our Gao Gaiga one to do at some point. And a comic one for this month as well. Oh god, what are we doing for comics this month?
I'm not enthused this month, I'll be honest.
No. Well, we'll do it because we've still got IDW stuff, Grimlock to cover, I suppose.
Yeah. I want to do that. I don't know if I want to make you, because I will like it. I know I like it, but I know you won't.
No, I won't.
So it's like I want something where I want Andy to have fun. I'm gonna have a dig. I'm gonna see what we can find. Maybe there's something old we can do.
Okay.
We'll find something.
I think that's it. I think that's all the things, all the places you can find me, I'm pretty sure. So, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. I hope you have a good day or whatever you might be up to. And we'll catch you on the next Moonbase 2 Poopcast, baby.
You are now